as soon as I find the right button. Hello, everyone. Welcome on in.
Hi.
Welcome to yet another episode of Off the Rails. This time with a scary person. Run for the hills. Oh, hi, Catastrophe. How you doing?
Hi, Jeannie. You don't know me, but I know you. This is awkward. Oh, it's Avon. Of course, it's Avon. God damn it.
Oh, of course. Wait. Good job, Evan.
Really,
good job.
Really speak of the devil.
Wow, that was funny. Okay, well, rip, I guess. That's
an icebreaker.
Yep. Well, anyways, this is Ezzy, everyone. Welcome on in. Ezzy has done a lot of stuff on the internet. Probably more than I have, feels like. But why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, Ezzy, and let everyone know a little bit about just everything you've done.
Introducing myself. Whenever I have to talk about myself, I forget I did anything ever. But hi, I'm Ezzy. I use they, them pronouns. I do VTuber videos on YouTube, mainly lore, inspired by this cato over here. And I make thumbnails. I work on channels from Iron Mouse, and I used to do some onigiri. Did stuff for Connor Clips. And I'm busy.
Busy to say the least.
Oh,
I'm trying to think of where I first bumped into you. And
it's probably one of my lore videos.
Probably, but I know I've ran into you in like at least 10 people's chats.
I mean, I'm a mod in Evans.
I do know that. I do know that.
And have you been to Mudan stream sometime?
I have been to Mudon's before.
Well, I'm a mod there too, so and I like in those circles, I like pop up everywhere, and then it's like super like common that people are like, Ezzy is here. I'm like, yeah, I'm also just a Twitch viewer. Leave me alone.
That sounds about right. Oh, there goes a cat. But yeah, you've done a lot on the internet, especially within the VTubing sphere. It's really interesting. Because
that's only half of my content creation career.
What were you doing for the other half?
I was a book blogger. I reviewed books for the most part for publishers.
Oh,
I've got a whole lot of bookshelves with books I got for free.
That's actually awesome. That's really interesting.
Yeah, I never earned a dime with it. I got burned out and I quit, and then I started YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a pretty common story. I mean, technically, the YouTuber side of things for me is less than half. Well, actually, no, we're at just about half of my YouTube career, which is like less than half of my streaming career. So
let's sort your videos by oldest.
Well, funny thing about that.
Yeah, I know you probably did a whole lot of things. You did a King cover?
Yes, that was one of the first things I did. Actually, no, not the first. That was a year after.
2021. Nice.
Yeah, because I joined VTubing in 2020. You know, when literally half of everyone else did.
Oh yeah, that's when I started YouTube.
I was actually a mobile game streamer before then.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, I streamed Epic 7. It was my primary. I have a few videos. Well, they're unlisted now, but I had a few videos on my channel that were, they're all focused around Epic 7. That's the game I played the most. Very fun game. Very interesting community.
Oh, it's an anime game, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, of course. I mean, of course it's an anime game.
Look.
But
Mobile
was,
games can range from anything from Candy Crush to like
That's
waifus
true.
with
That's
whatever.
true. I
Or random
remember
games.
my time in Epic 7 fondly just because that was like during its massive growth period is when I was playing. And then Genshin came out and it was like man, if there was ever a more appropriate time for like and then the Fire Nation attacked, that it's the Genshin. Genshin showing up, man.
Oh my god.
It just took
Yeah.
over everything. Like not in a bad way. It
just
took
did.
over everything.
Oh, I remember when, like, I kind of remember when Genshin came out, or at least like shortly after it did, because when I started like playing for the first time, which is at this point, it will be 3 years later this year. I thought it had been out for ages because of how people talked about it. I thought this is a game that has been going for like 5 years at least. That,
Well, see,
like, if I look back, it was months.
No, that's the crazy thing. Because I remember going through that whole thing. Because when it was announced, there was a lot of creators in the Epic 7 community, which at the time was, I think, the biggest mobile game community. But they
Yeah.
all decided then and there to hard swap to Genshin related content because when they announced
my
it, they
gosh.
just started releasing character after character after character and all the numbers and all the data. So it's like, even though you couldn't play the game, all the content creators had all the information they needed to make videos about the game.
Oh yeah.
It was
I
crazy.
think the same happened with Tower of Fantasy. I saw people that were making Tower of Fantasy videos like a year and a half prior to the actual release.
It's
So I was sorely disappointed by the game when it actually came out.
I wanted to like Tower of Fantasy. I really did.
I
Because
did too.
it's more like Genshin's great, but I guess I just played Genshin for so long that I was kind of sick of just, generic fantasy shenanigans. I wanted something a little bit more sci-fi, but Tower Fantasy didn't quite deliver on that promise. It tried, it tried, but
It was sci-fi technically.
yeah.
But if they like changed the UI a little bit and like swapped some wording, it could have been like high fantasy.
Yeah.
It was so sad. I
It
played it for
was
6
sad.
hours when I first installed it, never touched it again.
I also played it quite a bit for like, I think literally a day or two, and then I just didn't touch it again.
Yeah.
But then Star Rail came out, and now I don't even play Genshin.
I played Star Rail completely as no life, and then I got sick, I think, so I couldn't play, and then my streak was gone, and my nerd or virgin brain was like, yeah, I'm never touching this game again. Oh my
See, I
God.
like Star Rail because it was closer to Epic 7, which is a little bit more my speed. I like
'Cause
the
it's,
turn-based.
Yeah, turn-based, right, yeah.
Because I don't have as much time as I wish I did to just, play random games these days. And
Yeah.
Star Rail being, if I have to take a step away, it's not going to just insta-kill me, That's
Oh, yeah,
that's
that
nice.
too. I love that. And I also love that you can just hang back, have like a blanket around you, and you can just do it with one hand.
Yep.
Just point and click.
The thing I actually loved the most about Star Rail was their simulated universe stuff, where it was like basically
yeah.
a roguelite of just go in and do shenanigans. Because like I was having fun doing that, even if I wasn't even getting the rewards for that week.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just fun. Just good times. I hadn't seen a mobile game in a while that it was just like, okay, even the grinding is kind of fun,
Yeah,
'Cause
there was
that's-
something like that in World of Warcraft as well, which was called Torghast, which was also it was not an endless runner, but it was like close to it, and you had to do like your weekly stuff to like get through what you needed. But eventually, it became so boring because you out-leveled it so easily that it got the nickname Chorgas.
I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
got
could definitely see that.
bad memory surfaced when it got very grindy in the simulated universe.
Yeah.
That didn't help either.
Yeah. I feel like every mechanic that starts off kind of fun like that eventually just becomes a grind. Because I even remember in Final Fantasy 14 doing the Tower of the Dead. That was like awesome the first couple times you ran through it. Because you know, it resets you to level 1, you fight your way up, you get your abilities back, it's super fun.
Yeah.
But then as soon as you've done it, you know, once or twice, you're like, all right, you know what?
And then you did a really good run, and then you're like on top of the world, and then you end it.
Do it again.
And then you go back, and you have nothing. And then you have to, like, you realize, oh, this is why. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There's, sadly, I think that's just part of the grinding of games, is eventually you just get numb to it, and you're like, all right, how can I do this in the absolute fastest amount of time possible so that we don't have to do this again?
It's like one of those game mechanics where it's not about entertaining you, it's keeping you busy for extended amount of time.
Yeah.
They just want to keep you in the game. And especially with mobile games or like World of Warcraft, which is a subscription game, they just want you to keep playing. To keep logging in and everything.
Yeah, keeping you not even entertained, just engaged is
busy.
the primary goal. Which I'm never a fan of those types of mechanics. Like I've even had that problem with Pal World, which I love, by the way. I love Pal World. But there's a certain point where I feel like you hit this wall where it's like, okay, in order to progress, you gotta farm so many materials. It's like, can we just not, please?
Yeah.
Can I not farm 2,000 of this? That'll take me 4 hours.
There's the reason I didn't pick up the game to begin with.
Yeah, I can understand it. I was super hyped about it when it first came out, but as time has gone on, you know, it's like how you can see everything in with rose tinted glasses, right? When you're really excited about something, you're like, oh, this is amazing, this is the best thing ever. And then 2 weeks later, you're like, hold on. Wait a second. How much of this is actually really good? And
it's not just the rose tinted glasses. It's also like, if you are yourself excited for a game because of a trailer and you just start playing it yourself, you look at it differently than when you see the hype and you only try it because people seem to be excited and you don't know for sure whether you will like it.
Yeah, and I also think a big thing about Pal World is there's a lot of, it's if you start playing with other people, because like I'm of the opinion if you play a game with friends, then it's infinitely more fun. Like it doesn't matter how. In fact, the worse the game is, often the funner it gets with friends.
League of Legends. I'm dead serious.
No, I mean you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But it's really funny how that kind of works out. Because like when it started, I'm technically running a big VTuber server for it, where we had like 14 people on every day for like the first week.
That's overwhelming.
There were so many people. We were all like joining Discord calls, and it was insanity. But it was super fun because we were all like super hyped about the game. But now that we've had a little bit of time to, you know, bring things back down just a bit,
to quit the addiction,
it's like, this is I still play it, but it's now like, oh, I want to log in, do a little bit of like here, there, you know, little shenanigans, and then I'm good. Where, you know, compared to the 8-hour binge session. But, you know, it's just funny how now that the addiction is worn off, I can look back and be like, there's a lot of stuff they need to fix. Like a lot.
But to be fair, for the fact that it was like a small team working on this game.
Oh no, they did amazing.
The overall game is like very good.
the story behind Pal World is nutty to me.
Wait, there's story?
Well, no, like there technically there is actually lore in Pal World, but like
Okay,
I mean
yeah,
the story of how Pal World got made, just in general, is they're just like, oh, we need someone who can do this. It's like, hey, random person, can you come do this for us? Or how the lead developer's like, I need to teach people how to use this new framework. It's like, how did this get made? It was so funny, because to me that was very encouraging, because I mean, like I've shifted a lot of my programming or content into like programming stuff, and my code is definitely held together by duct tape. We'll put it that way. Stuff works that probably should not work.
I saw you tweeted something about time to clean up my code and realized like 3/4 of it is not necessary.
Yeah, about once a year I look at my main code base because I've learned a lot more, and I go back through it, and I very vividly remember this. So the first iteration of VT Chaos, which is now ChaosBot, when I changed it into ChaosBot, I looked through the whole code. It's like 6,000 lines of code. When I was done, it was 1,500, and it did the exact same thing. And I'm like, what? Oh no.
You really went with the spaghetti code.
It was I don't think it does spaghetti justice. This was like
like a vat of noodles.
I don't know what this was, but I started doing that again last night, and I was like, uh-oh. Because I'm realizing I'm just deleting entire sections of code and it's still working. And then I'm deleting more and it's still working. And I'm just like, how much of this was useless?
Wait, so it's like, it's not even that you like cleaned it up. It's like there's a whole section that is just, you made it, you tried, it did nothing.
Yep, that's pretty much it. The things were talking to things that don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I love how we're 20 minutes in and chat already called us out on the tangent.
Hey, you guys know why you're here. You guys know what this show is. Don't call me out for going on tangents. You know what the show is.
Oh yeah, these people have clearly not watched any of my streams either. I tried to like play a game and then I spent the entire stream doing tensions and I realized, oh shit, I have to like leave in 20 minutes. Game next time.
I mean, that's just how streams in general go. I feel like you can have the most planned stream on the world and then someone in chat says something, just one little thing, and you're like,
yeah,
it's time to go on this journey.
Oh my god. Or someone reminds me of something from like 3 months back that I never came back to. And then I have 3 months worth of updates.
Yeah.
Oh. It's good stuff. But it's exhausting because in my brain, it just keeps like, I don't have spaghetti code, I have spaghetti thoughts.
No, I definitely understand that. The amount of ideas I've either come up with and or said on stream and then done literally nothing with is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Way too many.
Every few months, I open a new like notepad thing and like write in, oh, these are all the ideas I had today. And then I work off of that and I try to make it work. Realistically, I maybe do one of them. And then a few months later, I start the entire progress all over again with new stuff.
See,
and I never remember why I put it. Never.
I just have a giant list. It just keeps on getting bigger. And I'll scroll up and be like, oh yeah, I had this idea like a year and a half ago. Or I had this other year, or this idea 2 years ago, or, you know. Oh, but good times, good times.
Oh yeah,
Well,
I opened my Notion to see stuff that I did in the past, so like prepared, and it's like there's so much.
I also use Notion.
Yeah.
Notion's great.
It's fantastic.
You
don't plan until the second you get punched in the face. That's accurate. That's so accurate.
Well, you know, I can't remember who in my life told me this, but there's a quote that whether I intend to or not, it's one that I live by. It's you plan and then you improvise. Because that's
more of the latter than the first, definitely.
Yeah, more of the latter than the first. Is you can always have a plan, but you will always have to improvise. It's just how it goes. If something can go wrong, something will go wrong.
Oh yeah. And sometimes people are like, don't jinx it. And I'm like, if you don't acknowledge it, you jinx it like 10 times more.
There's nothing wrong with having a backup plan. Because in case something goes wrong. I don't know. I don't think you can jinx things. I just think that, throughout the course of life, given everything you'll do, something will go wrong at some point in time. And it's better to be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh. But let's maybe talk a little bit about what the original plan of the stream was.
Oops.
So, I'm really curious to hear how you got involved with Mudan and like the Iron Mouse team, because I think when did
chance.
you what?
Complete chance.
I mean, complete chance is great. But like, how did it happen?
Well, I thought about it at some point, and I can completely track being right here back to someone from my World of Warcraft guild years ago sharing me a video of Chris Broad. I can completely track it back. I swear.
Okay, you got to tell us the story. That's very specific.
So I was in a World of Warcraft guild. I played World of Warcraft for 5-6 years until I like quit because I was so addicted. It was sad. But a friend of mine knew I liked Japan and anime and stuff, and he was like, "Oh, you should look at this video because this British guy in Japan, he gets like toured around a whole bunch of apartments, and then like you see how expensive they are and what you actually get." So I watched that video and I was like, "Oh, this guy's actually cool." So I kept watching his videos and I binged so much of it. And with Journey Across Japan, he did videos with Joey. And I was like, "Oh, Joey's also cool." So I started watching Joey. And then I started just getting interested because that was actually my first interaction with anime YouTube. And I had been like a weeb for like 10 years at that point. And I was like, why did I never like think about this,
How did you not interact with weeb YouTube before that point? That's my question.
Well, on YouTube, all I did was look up World of Warcraft guides and watch Asmongold. I was not on YouTube that much.
That's fair. That's fair.
So I did not know that was like a community outside of that because anime was boring and like nerdy and everything, whatever. So that was complete chance. And I started listening to Chris's podcast. And when I was completely caught up, I swear, I binged like a couple hundred episodes. I was like, I want more. So I started Trash Days because Joey was in there. And I started watching that more. And then they started mentioning Mudan. And I remembered that Joey mentioned Mudan. And I was like, oh, their editor, he can edit really well. Let's check him out. This was before Mudan actually made his second channel properly. Like, he made it but never posted. So I thought, oh, he's just a guy and he has a channel so he can be tagged and credited, right? I did not know he made content until Joey raided him one day. And I just stuck around. This was like 2.5 years ago. And I just stuck around for a number of times and I learned a lot because he did a lot of editing streams and thumbnail streams. And I just started taking notes because I was horrible at thumbnails and editing and everything. And I was like, well, I can use every little bit of advice. So I started applying all the tips that he gave on like thumbnails and everything to my own stuff. And to the point that he started doing a I roast your YouTube channel stream. And then he came to my channel and he was actually ready to like roast the fuck out of me. because I was at that point modeling for him for a while, and he loved making fun of me. And I looked at it, and he was like, "Oh, but there's actually not that much I can roast about this." And I was like, "What?" and it was also in roughly a time frame where he just started working for Connor Clips and Iron Mouse Thoughts. So he did a speed run of like 4 hours or something to do 100 thumbnails, which is absolutely maniac behavior, but that's Mudan for you. And everyone was like, yeah, he just spent 4 hours making 100 thumbnails. He wanted to do it in 2.
That's actually insanity.
Yep. And the worst thing was, aside from some like minor tweaks you would otherwise do if you had like a bit more time, the thumbnails were not bad at all. Like, they were for clips and thoughts, so that's cheating a little bit in that regard, but it's still insanity. So everyone was just worried, like, I know you like love working for people and you need money and everything, but can't you like hire someone to help you so you don't like go insane every other week? And he was like, nah. And then I have to like explain someone the style I want, and I need to trust them. And everyone was, including me, I was not even fishing for a job. I was just concerned about him. Like, I didn't even think I would ever be good enough to work for him, right? So we were just pushing, like, you should just hire someone. So that stream where he was roasting channels and the stream where he did the 100 thumbnails were roughly in the same time frame. So at some point, probably something clicked with him. So like a week later, he gave me a DM like, "Hey, do you want to do thumbnails for Connor Clips?" And I just freaked out. I had the biggest anxiety attack ever. But I said yes. I was like, I'm not going to say no. If he thinks I'm good enough, I'm not going to say no. And then I learned, and I did a lot. But because of like the backlog, he just made like 100 thumbnails, even if you do 2 uploads per day. And to be fair, only half of those were for Connor Clips. That's still like a couple months. So I was working on it. Nothing went live in the meantime because it was just that much backlog. And eventually he asked me if I wanted to do the VODs for Iron Mouse's subathon. Her first subathon. So I got thrown into the deep end right away. He was like, "Do you ever watch Iron Mouse?" Like, occasionally, her videos. She's cute. She does love with Connor, right? He's like, "Yeah, you know that she's doing a subathon?" "Yeah, I'm aware." "Do you want to like do the VODs for that?" And I'm like, "What?" I did not understand what he wanted at first. And then he explained a bit to me. I'm like, "Yeah, I can do that." It took me 2 months, 2 entire goddamn months to get through that entire subathon. And it was already going for like a week. So I was like working on a major backlog, and I'd never done that before. So I had to like, I had just made like a thumbnail style for Connor Clips, and I had to like ditch everything to start doing VODs because that's an entirely different vibe.
Right.
And I was like, oh my God. I lost my mind on several occasions, and it took everything out of me, but that was like, I learned so much. So by the time her second subathon came around, like a year and a half later, that was a piece of cake. Oh, hi, Natalie.
Oh, hi, Natalie.
But yeah, that was insanity. And like over time, he asked me for other jobs. Like I've done 2 clips compilations, like best of Connor for like specific months. One went on his Connor Dog channel, and the other on his clips channel. And I did one for Iron Mouse as well. Like I just had to collect clips and do some basic editing on them, and then he finished some of them, and like another editor that's currently my friend also finished like doing the last effects and sound and everything. And he asked me to start doing thumbnails, which I did pretty much for all videos aside from the occasional illustrated thumbnail, because I cannot draw at all. And yeah, I did that for a while, and then I got asked to do for Onigiri. and Onigiri's clips channel. So at a certain point in time, there were more people working on Connor clips, so I was not doing as much for that, but occasionally I had like a batch for that. So I was doing Connor clips, Iron Mouse VODs, which is thumbnails and VODs, Onigiri clips, and then thumbnails for both Onigiri and Iron Mouse's main channel. I cannot recommend that. That was a bit too much. So I scaled down. So I'm pretty much only doing VODs now, and now Mouse is also streaming for a lot longer, so I have more work on that anyway.
That sounds insane to me.
Yeah, that was insane. But yeah, but like really, and like to finish the train to me coming here, if it wasn't for learning about Trash Taste, me learning about Mudon, then I learned about Evan, and he got me into like VTuber content creation in general. Like not just VTubers, because that was kind of like already going, but like VTubers making content about VTubers or other people making content about VTubers. And like via I found you. So like it's really traceable to like someone from World of Warcraft sending me a Chris video. That
it's weird how a chain of events like that can happen,
and it's so wild because there is like one main timeline with like smaller branches, but they always come back to the main timeline.
It's really nice though that you're able to like trace the story back that far, because for me I don't know how I got into half the things I got into. So
there's it keeps me grounded though, because then I can like actually look back. I'm like, oh, this is how much your life can change in like a single year.
True.
Because I know exactly where I was.
That is true. Knowing where you came from is definitely a big boon, because whenever you're comparing yourself to yourself, knowing where you started is just so important.
Definitely.
So that's seriously so cool though. And to me, that I really like that story, because it's like, oh, you got interested in a thing, you went and learned about the thing, and you started doing the thing, which is more than a lot of other people do, as they stop before they get to the learning process, or they stop during the learning process and never try and push it further. The most
important thing I realized is be present, because a big reason why Mudan asked me was because I was always around. He already knew me to a certain degree. He knew he could like count on me, because I was a mod for him, and for a while I was like seen as like the head mod for him. Like it was completely unofficial, and there were people that had already been with him for like a year at that point. But somehow people started looking to me as like, you're the one in charge, right? And I'm like, who said that? It's even before I started working with him, if there were like editing mistakes, or there was a title misspelled in some of the channels Mudan managed for, people messaged me. And I'm like, Mudan's DMs are just as much open. Why are you messaging me? It still happened.
That's funny. Well, it's funny how just being in the right place enough leads to just so many different things. So like, yeah, if you're always around, of course people are going to start associating you. Like but that's true of like any community you're in. Like obviously I have a lot of like, especially as a streamer with your own community, obviously you have your regulars who they've been there for freaking ever, and you know them just by their names, just because they're simply there all the time. And if you're like looking to get into like business with content creators and stuff, just being there and being a name they recognize is such a massive first step. It's crazy, you know?
Oh yeah, there are a lot of people I'm currently like friends with, or like good mates, because I was not in the state. My anxiety was not allowing me to like approach them, but because they knew me, because I was always around and they knew I was chill, they were immediately so friendly to me that it just happened.
Yeah.
I didn't even do anything. I was just around.
Yeah. I mean,
Even
that's how.
before I actually like did a lot more for content creation, because it wasn't until I really started with the VTuber lore stuff that I took things seriously. Like, streaming was occasionally, and upload was like maybe once a month, and it was erratic at best. But because I was a moderator for like bigger streamers and like always around, people knew me, and I had like a reputation as a mod, like just from being around. People didn't even know that I did content. Most of people still don't. It's so funny. But a lot of people just know me from somewhere. And it still baffles me sometimes, because I'm not used to that, because I don't even think I put myself out there that much. But it's just, that's just like my biggest advice. Just be around. Don't be parasocial. Don't be annoying to people. Just be around.
Yeah.
Yeah, what Kamito was saying, that I analyze VTuber lore. That's how a lot of people know me. Because I just do that, and people are like, oh yeah, you do that. And then I start saying that I do other stuff as well, and people are like, what? They just know me from this one thing.
I mean, I feel like that's the internet in general, though. You tend to just...
Yeah.
You do one thing that pops off, even just a little bit, and that is now your moniker for forever.
Natalie, you're such a liar.
Hello, Raelz. I don't know who you are, but I'm just here to support my boy as he... I see how it is. I see how it is.
I feel like that's actually like a crazy sentence, whether it's true or not, because like I alluded at the start, like a big reason I started doing VTuber lore is because you inspired me. I was like, oh, that's like a thing you can do.
Well, you know, the funny thing about that whole thing, because that's back when I was still an educational VTuber. That's like what I started off. Well, technically, that's not what I started off doing, but it's what I was doing at the time.
That was like your previous checkpoint.
Yeah. What's funny is we're actually going back to what I was originally doing when I started streaming. We've hit a few checkpoints along the year, but the whole VTuber lore stuff started as a experiment, because I had thought, because again, I was in the educational sphere at the time. I was getting so fed up with people saying X, Y, and Z, and I'm like, I'm going to prove it. I'm going to start a channel no one knows about. I'm not even going to name it myself. Not even going to have my avatar in the videos. Nothing. And do these 1 minute VTuber lore recaps, because one of the channels that I really like is a channel named Vader's Fortress, who does like really short Star Wars lore stuff. Like it's super short. And so I was like, I like that idea, so I'm just gonna take that but do it about VTubers. And so I started off doing that, and even though the first lore vids were absolute garbage, I hate looking back at them. I'm like, oh, it's so bad. But even they were not that great, they immediately started popping off on TikTok and on the other YouTube channel that I didn't tell anyone about. And I was like, wait, these are popping off a little too much. And that, because I was doing it every day. My goal was to do it every day for a month to see what would happen, and then make a video about like, haha, this is how much it popped off, right?
Do you hate yourself?
Well, I mean, I did it. But at the end of the first week, I was like, I gained so much of a following in such a short amount of time. I'm like, I feel like I have to hard pivot my channel. And so I did. Yeah. And then that whole thing happened. But I did do it every day for a month. Actually, I did it every day for like 45 days straight. Oh, which was God. Not recommended. But you know, if you're insane, cautionary tale. Because like especially when I was starting
I feel
off.
like if you're making content about VTubers, you have to be insane.
A little bit, yeah.
To a degree, at least. Yeah.
But like it was just funny to me because I was so surprised that it popped off, because up until that point in time, and I had been the proud paragon of no one cares about VTuber lore. Because I didn't really care about it up until I was like, oh, this is, there's a lot of fun, little interesting stories. And, but I wasn't like, I'm not like Matt Pat levels of invested into the backstory of, or like the secret backstory of every little piece of information. I just like people's stories as stories, just interesting.
Yeah.
Imagine making content about VTubers. Hi, Underhill.
Hi, Underhill.
But it was funny because that just all popped off, and then like that led to a whole bunch of other things throughout the last 2 years. But it originally started as I'm going to show you guys that I know what I'm talking about, and then it worked a little too well.
You flexed too hard.
I flexed a little too hard. But it definitely was an interesting journey throughout that whole thing. Though, sadly, I am kind of leaving that sphere to go try new things now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I heard you say that when you were on stream at Underhill.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you weren't here yesterday then.
Oh no! What did you do?
We maybe held a small funeral for it. Wait, let me show you the picture.
Oh no.
Just imagine sad Titanic music playing while this image appears on screen.
That's actually so funny.
Right?
That's
That was hilarious.
That's so funny.
I thought
that
it was
works
really,
too well.
really funny.
Oh my god. I love how you went that way and not like miss a graduation funeral type of thing.
Well, yeah, because like I just know that my time in that sphere is over, I think, at this point. Because I think I just went too hard for like an entire year. Because looking back,
yeah, I did the same.
2023 or 2022 was like the year that I went ham on it. I made 170 total videos about VTuber lore that year.
Jesus, I made like a little under 100. You just doubled that.
But like, that's the crazy thing. And then like last year I made like 20 total.
Yeah.
Because I went too hard. I went way too hard on it. But then, I started doing programming and stuff. And what's funny, well, I actually started that years ago, but it's funny because
went back to it.
I think I just kind of realized myself that I still like enjoy watching people's content about the lore stuff. Like I still watch other people's videos about it, but I just didn't want to make it anymore. And towards the beginning of this year, I was finally like, wait, I just need to cut the umbilical cord. I need to get rid of it. I need to go.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. But it's fascinating how people's journeys and what they do over the course of even just a couple years take them. Because like it's all of the lore stuff is like a blur to me, because I've realized that was 2 years of stuff. And it does not feel like 2 entire years have passed.
Oh, but it never does.
Right?
Like in April, it will be 4 years since I started YouTube. I barely feel like it's been 1.5.
Oh my gosh. That's the crazy thing. Is I feel like content creators' sense of time in general is just doesn't exist. It's just not there.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely not. Like if you're a content creator for 3 years, that's an eternity.
Seriously.
Already that so much happens in just 3 years. It's just, you're making me feel old, Ezzy. I'm older than you, I'm pretty sure. What is your problem, right?
Well, I think it's just because the content creation sphere, so much can happen in such a short amount of time that it
5
feels,
days.
yeah, 5 days. It feels like weeks feel like months to me, where it's like,
yeah.
oh, this thing happened. It's like, yeah, that was last month. It's like, no, that was last week. Oh no.
Yeah.
Like even something as simple as like, oh yeah, this big awesome event happened. It was literally 28 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
But it felt like last year.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Natalie brings up a good point. It's because content creation is so day to day that you can't see the forest for the trees. It really is though, because
Oh man, it really is like that. I was listening to a podcast today. I think it was Steak and Eggs, where they were talking about like if you want to take care of your mental health, but you're a streamer and you do like a lot of like daily streaming or close to it. Streaming is so fast paced. You have to take care of so many things, and real life feels slow in comparison. But once you like start taking care of your mental health and you like come back to reality, and that becomes normal again because that's like healthy paced, streaming becomes so overwhelming. It's just, yeah. And I was like, wow, that makes so much sense, because that has been like it went in an impromptu content break somewhere in December because I just burnt myself out. I was doing too much.
I remember
I
that.
couldn't keep anymore. I just couldn't keep up anymore. And now I look back, it has been 2 months since I streamed last, I think. I made some videos in the meantime. And I started realizing, oh, this is why I need a break.
Yeah. I mean, so back in the day, I used to stream 5 to 6 times a week as well.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and then on top of that, I was also trying to make weekly video. That was a fun time, you know, on top of having a full-time job, right?
Yeah.
all these things compiled. But that's why I don't stream nearly as much as a lot of the other people, like the other people that I associate with in the sphere, is because I feel like streaming is the thing that I never want to be. I never want to feel like I have to stream. I'm in general like always excited to go live, and if I'm not, I usually cancel it. That's just kind of how I work. But
I'm the same. Every time I make a schedule, none of those streams happen. And if I do stream, it's on the days I didn't schedule anything. That's always. I just gave up.
So for me, I'm the opposite. Like if I have a consistency, like, because I stream every Wednesday, every Saturday, unless hell or high water happens, right? If I like my voice is shot or something. But like outside of that, no guarantees on anything. That's what you get guaranteed. The rest is whatever. But it is just funny how even just the act of streaming, because I feel like streaming is a very unique, even compared to when to editing or doing other creative endeavors, is because you have to be engaged with your stream the entire time. And when you're constantly engaged with something, time loses meaning.
Oh, yeah. Like 5 minutes, 3 hours, same thing.
You feel it as soon as you end the stream. But, you know, during the stream, you can't. Because I know, at least for me, the moment I end stream, it's like reality snaps back. It's like, was that 2 full hours that I was just talking? But it's crazy.
I always feel depressed for like 15 minutes after stream.
I don't get depressed, thankfully, but I can be super energetic on stream. But the second it's off, it's like I just aged 50 years and I'm tired and I want a nap.
Yeah. I sometimes I stream for like hours on end, and then I have to like have to go because there's like some other time constraint. And I in the moment I feel like I could have gone for another hour. But then I rate someone and like sticking around for like 30 seconds to say hi to the person I rated, that's too much.
You're like,
That's
no, I need to go. I need to stop. It's like, I'm so tired,
I need
please.
food, I need a nap, I need caffeine. That's
It's so
like in
true.
that order as well.
It's funny how that. I feel like most streamers feel that way.
Yeah.
There are some, because I definitely know people who it's just an energizing experience. That's why they stream for forever, is because like the act of streaming gives them that energy. For me, it's like I start with the energy tank full and it slowly depletes throughout stream. Because like I love streaming, but it is draining to me.
That's so draining. That's
how I feel. Is I love doing it, but I also, I mean, my chat knows my telltale signs when I'm about to end a stream. As soon as like my energy's gone, there's nothing left in the tank. The stream's over. Like we're done. We gotta go.
Yeah, that's relatable. Yeah.
But
if I did like a long stream one day, with like my energy level is being like lower to begin with, and like I'm chronically ill as well, so my whole energy levels are so unpredictable. But also my battery, if it's empty, it takes several days to even get something back. So if I did a long stream, and especially if it's exhausting, lots of things happening, usually if I like play a game I really have to pay attention to, the next day I'm just dead.
Yeah.
I can't do anything. I just watch TV.
I feel like creative endeavors in general are, if you ever truly hit zero energy, you are screwed for the next couple of days.
Yeah.
Like, you can get really close to the rock bottom, but as long as you never get down to zero, you know, you can rest, you can get back up, you can do things. But once you hit zero, it's like you're not allowed to do anything until you're back at 100.
Yep. And like recharging, I have such specific things I need to do to recharge. Like I need to like just spend a few hours nonstop watching something. Like not engaging with anything else, just watching something to like occupy my brain. And I always come back to Minecraft videos. Like there's this SMP called Hermitcraft. If I am like creatively in need of something, I start watching that. And I at some point I realized why. Because before I became like a content creator and working with content creators at the capacity I do right now, I always watch things for fun. But people I watched, it started to become so close to what I did myself that it just felt like work or inspiration for work. Like I kept looking at people's thumbnails like, oh, they're doing it like this. That's something I can do for that video that's scheduled. And I couldn't separate the two anymore. There was like no dividing line. Everything was blurred. But these videos on like a Minecraft SMP, it was like the furthest away from my job and everything I did that I could just completely shut it off.
I could definitely see that.
That was so nice.
See, for me, it's usually I usually watch a bunch of I start just doom scrolling on TikTok or YouTube Shorts.
Oh, I deleted TikTok off my phone so long ago, and I don't miss it. I had to delete Instagram from my phone as well because of the Raelz tab. Because it always opens automatically. So if I see like, oh, I got a like or comment or whatever, that happens every like few weeks maybe because I never post. I always end up in the Raelz tab. And I'm like, how does this keep happening? I don't even want to go here. So I just had to delete it. And I've never watched YouTube on my phone unless I directly go through to a video through my notifications. Because I would just open YouTube to look for something, unless it's like really specific and I immediately look for it. I just get lost. I just can't do that. I just get locked. And it's so annoying.
See, I've got a funny relationship with short form content because it's primarily what I do these days. I found that
you
like
also make it. So
well,
that's
yeah,
maybe
but
different.
I think it's different. I think that helps, but like I think it's different because I've learned that short form style is just it's what vibes with me the most.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not gonna be out here making these big video essays. I've tried them a couple times, and it's not me. It's not me. But like stupid dumb jokes that I can do, we're good. It's awesome. Or like miniaturized stories are totally fine. But because of that, like I can open up the shorts tab or whatever on anything, and yeah, I'll watch it for like 20 minutes, but then I'm like good. I'm like, all right, that was fun, and then I move on. I've never gotten stuck in like a long viewing session because I actually don't know. I don't know why, because it feels like I'm the prime audience for just getting stun locked by shorts. But for me, it's just like, oh, I'll just scroll for 20 minutes. It's like, oh, that's a fun idea. That's fun. This is a cute video, whatever. And then I'm good. Then I can put my phone down. But I've never really had a...
My shorts feed is also like not adjusted to the things I actually watch. It's just like the generic viral stuff. That is just like an attention trap.
I could see that.
So
yeah.
Like, even if I watch for an hour, I don't think I'd seen one video I was actually interested in.
That's the crazy thing about short form content is like, it's so good at keeping your attention without actually giving you anything to latch onto. It's crazy.
And then you realize like 20, 30 minutes pass and you think like, I could have like watched someone's video essay and something in the same time.
It's like, can you name 10 creators' videos that you just watched? It's like, probably not.
I don't even think I can name 10 shorts creators that I just know through shorts.
I think it's because I've used it enough that I'm actually able to name people like Ali Jokes or Crunchy Mom or like these people that I keep seeing.
Crunchy Mom.
She's so good. I love that.
Crunchy Mom is one of the few that I'm like actually invested in because they're just short movies.
Pretty much, yeah. That's mostly what my shorts feeds are these days. Is like I've got Crunchy Mom. There's another one. I can't remember the name of the restaurant, but it's like something bistro, and it's just all about really dumb and weird like restaurant stories of like customers being insane. And it's so good. Another one is I think it's just called Boat Jokes, and it's just these two dudes.
Boat Jokes?
It's called Boat Jokes, but it's just them telling really bad dad jokes, like slowly, not even fast, and they're just sitting on a pier next to a boat. That's like the whole gimmick. It's so tough. But like, I don't know. I feel like my YouTube Shorts feed is really tailored to like what I enjoy watching. And because I really don't get a lot of, ironically, the short, like the super short viral stuff. Most of my stuff are like just mini stories or skits. I get a lot of skits. Uh-oh.
I was like, I'm curious. What if I open Google Shorts? What even? YouTube Shorts right now. What would I get? It's an ASAP Science video. So why people get morning woods. This is the first video of them I've seen in like at least 4 or 5 months.
What a thing to go to. Good lord.
Oh, and then there's Iron Mouse. Oh, and the people doing haircuts. They're so fun.
I've seen some of those. I do really like shorts videos about people doing a thing. I think that those are really enjoyable.
Oh, and then we have Doggo.
Good old doggo.
Oh, have you seen the whip guy?
Whip guy.
Yeah,
I don't
he
think
just
so.
like he's on like it's some type of fair, and he is like dressed as like a medieval entertainer, and he just uses a whip as like percussion, and he sings.
Huh. That's
Yeah, that's his
interesting.
name. Jack's a whipper.
Jack's a whipper.
And he does this
Okay,
awful French
that's kind of an
accent.
awesome name, though.
And he has a drawn-on mustache. He uses for his acts.
That's
And then-
funny.
And it's so funny because he asked like his audience what songs to do. And usually it's like these really soft songs. And he is like, guys, there are kids here. And he always like changes the lyrics to something related to Whipper.
Of course you would. You know, as you do.
Yeah. I think he did like the Witcher song, like toss a coin to your whipper. But everyone just becomes so sus around him because he has a whip, and he is like, guys, I'm just here to entertain you. This is just my job. And he just laughs it off though, but it's just, he's like, they're kids. Those are kids watching this video. He's so funny.
I do really like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, short form content is just so good at getting like bite-sized pieces of concepts, and that's just the perfect example, you know. Oh gosh, good old short form.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll ever get into shorts making?
I tried a few, also inspired by your like 1 minute videos. I hated my very existence. Because I'm not very good at like animating stuff like you do. So I was like trying to find clips that were semi-related. But that took so much time. And that only works if you're like having corporate VTubers where people actually clip stuff.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny? You mentioned my quote-unquote animations. That's just me playing around in Premiere with like zooms and other stuff to make it work. Though I do think my magnum opus for any short I've ever made is still Vantacrow's short. I think that is.
Oh my god.
That is the single greatest, because it was so much more effort than it needed. Making it look that bad took so much more effort than trying to make it look good.
Oh my god.
And people...
Did you unlist a lot of shorts?
Oh, I listed all of them. They're all gone.
Oh, that makes sense.
They're in a playlist. You can still technically find them, but...
yeah, okay, I got it. Right,
but
fine.
Well, here
I'll lore content.
Yeah, the hidden lore content now. It's all in there.
Okay, let me.
Here, I saved you some. I saved you some time.
Oh my god.
I think the really bad green light effect really encapsulates what we're going for here.
You remade.
I remade his whole video like in the same like messed up style. It took so much more effort. Because like it's funny because doing that IRL, it would have been so much easier. Doing it digitally was so much more work.
I can see your mouse. That's so funny.
Oh my god, good.
I love how we're somewhat sharing the same brain cell, because in the thumbnail for my video on Crisis, let me try and find it. When was this? How long ago did Crisis debut? Ah, here we go. Let me share that.
Alright, let me see. Oh, yeah.
I also remade like a stick figure.
I think we're actually using the same stick figure as, like the same popsicle ass.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Oh
I was
my
like,
gosh.
I need to shitpost this, but still make it look like I know what I'm doing.
It's so good. See, stuff like that is why shorts content is my, or just like bit content, I guess, is my favorite thing ever. Because outside of that, I think the single favorite thing I have ever made, I don't know if I'll ever be able to top this, was in the Nyanners video I did. Because I was like, how do you portray an epic battle between eldritch beings in 2 seconds? Like, what do you put on the screen, right?
Oh, you could either go so serious or the ultimate shitpost. There's no in between.
So what I did is I had Vebe and Haruka slam dunk Nyanners through a basketball hoop.
That's the perfect thing.
It's like my single favorite bit I think I have ever made, because it's just all the imagery up until this point has been like eldritch beings and horror, and then it cuts to a basketball court where Haruka's dunking Nyanners through a hoop, and it's just like,
yeah,
oh my god, I love stupid crap like that. And that's what I'm like trying to get back into. Because man, back in the day, I did this so much with my stupid gotcha streams that I was doing. I made so many dumb videos that were like 3-second bits. I'd show them once on stream and then they were lost to the void forever. But it's like, I love doing stuff like that. I have so much stuff.
It's like the good stuff.
Yeah.
I think I love like shit posting on thumbnails as well.
Oh, I absolutely love doing it. I've recently decided, as of this year, every member stream is just MS Paint drawings. I will not make an actual thumbnail for them. They're just MS Paint drawings. Usually, like 3 seconds before I actually go live, is I'll just be like, here's a cat doing something, and it's terrible, but it's really funny.
Yeah, but that's like the best thing. Okay, let's see if I can find like a shit post thumbnail I did at some point. Yeah, I'm a maniac. I have made so many thumbnails. My clips thumbnail playlist is like 600 videos long.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh my god, I forgot I made this. So I'm gonna show it to you in DM. I don't know if you want to share it with the chat, but like I made stuff like this.
Hold on, chat. You guys. It's so good though. Hold on. Okay, this. It's so dumb. Here you guys go. Here's top tier thumbnail. Here you go.
Like I get paid for this.
Oh my gosh.
I'm realizing that a lot of these involve boobs.
I mean, you know what? Whatever gets people to click on stuff, right?
Oh my god, there's another one. This one doesn't involve boobs, but it does involve Nina.
Oh yeah, that.
Can you imagine? I get paid for every single one of these.
That's what's also crazy to me. But like,
I think I also made one where it's just Iron Mouse saying to Connor, Connor saying to Iron Mouse, breastfeed me. I
know that thumbnail.
I didn't get called back for that one. That one was allowed. I didn't even get a note about that one. But then I had a thumbnail for a VOD where Aramas was reacting to something, and it was including a video of K-Song kissing like some girl, and I had like just a screenshot of that. Like that one was called back. Like that one was not all out. Probably because it was an Aramas channel, not Connor's.
Oh, oh, that's funny though. That's so funny. I do think that something at least I've learned with thumbnails, because I don't think I'm that great at them still. Well, I think I'm good at like dumb ideas, but like if I want to make an actual thumbnail, I'm not that great at them. But usually the ones that do very well are just like, I have this really terrible idea. How do I make it a reality? And it's usually, oh man, I think I'm trying to think of what my like actual greatest thumbnail that I've done is, because there's not
keep sharing ones I see in this playlist because they're just
oh, I've seen so many of these.
It's just some of these are so low effort, and then other ones are
sometimes the low effort ones though are just, they're just so good. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Actually, I do know what the thumbnail that I at least worked the best for me was. I did a video on like, why do VTubers care about lore so much? And it's literally just me looking shocked, and the background is just text. It's just text. Yeah. And I still have the text saved from that, where it's just like, oh my God, I can't believe anyone's actually reading the text on a thumbnail. What's wrong with you? Can you please stop reading this? Oh my God. And it just runs. It's like 5 paragraphs of like that kind of writing. And but like, of course, no one's ever going to actually read it because it's too small. But if you zoom in and enhance, you'll find a really dumb story that I wrote. But like, that's the thumbnail. It's just, it was so good.
That reminds me of one of my friends who was editing for Connor. Sometimes he just includes like scrolling text, and either it scrolls so fast or it's on screen for like, what, 5 frames? And you don't really, like, if you don't care enough, you won't pause. But if you pause, either it has some super interesting historic facts, or it's like the most nightmarish copy pasta in existence. I'm always in awe of that. Or it's just like some extended notes. It's like an inside joke between the editor and Mudan, because both of them know that Connor is never gonna see it.
I have absolutely done that, where the video will just be going on, and then there'll be like 4 frames of the entire screen filled up with this giant long explanation of something, but I just continue on like nothing happened.
Yeah, exactly.
And those are my absolute favorite dub things to include, is just like, here's a wall of text of my thoughts at this very specific time that no one's gonna stop for, but it's funny.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. That's the style of editing and thumbnail making that is just it's just the best. That's when you know you're having fun with your job, is when you could fit stuff like that in.
I know I'm good at my job when I am looking at something. I'm like, why am I getting paid for this? And like, when I just started, I got like a lot of things that needed revision. Like, either I needed to change the thumbnail completely, or there were like major or minor things I needed to change. And eventually I just barely ever got like anything. Usually it was something small. And when I make main channel thumbnails, I send over the PSD. So if Mudan needs to change anything, he could just do it himself, because it's quicker. Because he can do it as well. It's mostly that it takes a lot of creative energy that he doesn't have because he's so busy with a lot of things and a lot of time. So if this is like something like a font change or the text needs to be bigger or smaller, it's whatever. He can just do it himself.
You know what's funny?
Sometimes I just make something and then I just get called back like, Ezzy, please, something else.
Oh, that's funny. But you know what? You brought up an interesting topic about like that creative energy. Oh my God, I just saw the yeah, but a thumbnail you just sent. Good Lord.
I've got so many of these.
But that creative energy being used up, it's like it's so funny how you doing thumbnails and things like that, it seems from an outside perspective that that's like not really that big of a deal. Like I can see people talking about that, but like from my perspective, if I have someone who can just take even just slightly a little bit of that creative load off, that frees me up for so much stuff that I can now do. And like something that I've oh, hi cat. Scared me a little bit. But something that works, that is related to that for me, is like I've really leaned into Chat GPT shenanigans recently. As you might have been able to tell. But,
oh yeah. It's so funny.
It's a similar type of thing where like I've started using Chat GPT as like a dumb idea generator. And it's amazing the amount of creative load that takes off of like, because once I hear a good, like even a sliver of a good idea, I'm like, oh, I can do this thing. It's completely unrelated to whatever that did, but it's like, oh, I now have this thing. And I have so much. Exactly. I have so much more energy to go do that thing. And like, I feel like so much of the other parts of content creation is why these bigger creators usually have like big teams of people, is because usually this is my opinion, there's very few people who are really good at all aspects of content creation. They're usually really good at one or maybe two things, sometimes a couple things. But like there are some streamers who are just awesome streamers that are absolutely horrendous video editors.
Oh yeah.
Or like I'm putting out other content. I feel like I'm personally kind of like in that kind of category. It's like I feel like I do good on stream, but making it into videos is where I suffer. But I think that's true of a lot of other people, and like a lot of YouTubers, like they're probably not that great on stream, but they're really good at their their videos and stuff like that. And so getting people like you that are able to take off even just what is perceived as a small portion, though I think for anyone who actually does this knows exactly how important thumbnails are. It's just
not even just how important they are. It's just you have to keep making them.
Yeah,
you have to make them also. At some point, you're making so many that they start looking like one another.
True.
And then it becomes a problem. I have at some point made thumbnails, and because I do them in batches and I don't know what order they go up in, I have had that like 3 like clips that went up had the same exact PNG used in a row.
Ooh.
And that's completely fine. The views didn't suffer for it, but I always check like what thumbnails do well and what ones do not, and like figure out is it a me thing, is it a topic thing, is it a title thing, because I do suggestions for titles for main channel videos, but they're not always taken, right? I don't have the final say. And for clips, I get the title with the clip when I have to make the thumbnail, because I have to like bounce the thumbnail off the title more than the clip itself.
Right.
So then I try to figure out, is it my thumbnail that made it do well or not, or is it something else? And then sometimes I see that and it just makes me like, oh, that's a problem. Doesn't hurt anything. Mudan didn't even mention it. He probably didn't even see it. But I'm like, oh god.
It's so fascinating. Because I'll admit that like that was one of the things That was actually one of the big reasons why I wanted to bring you on, is because of all your thumbnail stuff. It's like that world is so fascinating to me, because it's something that I traditionally struggle in, because my attention is focused elsewhere. But
you're doing a good job though, because you're not trying to go with what everyone else does, even though you know that you're not good at it. You just do your own thing, which honestly, personality and thumbnails is a lot more important than base technique.
I would tend to agree, because at least for me, when I'm looking at stuff, I feel like there is definitely, and you know, you're definitely more of an expert than I am in this field, but I do feel like
I know nothing. No, that's like the entire thing.
I feel like there are some good base principles that, like, of if you do this, the thumbnail will probably perform this way, right? Like a bare minimum. But also, like, if you go for those more experimental, just like, this is this person's personality, it might not click with everyone, but the few people it does click with, it's really gonna vibe.
Yeah. And then you have the right people. They have the right audience. And then you have the
right people. Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you've ever looked like in depth on thumbnails I have on my channel for my lore videos, but they're completely different from everything else I make.
I have noticed that, actually.
And that's partially because I just don't want to like do more of the same thing I do every day anyway. But also because it's my own channel, I have like room to experiment. But also, I feel like my videos are not just like the basic reaction videos where you just have like reaction phase, whatever you're looking at, and then like some red arrow. Like I want it to be more than that as well. So I take care of my packaging to like show off like I care more about this than just, oh, I watched this and published the video.
Yeah.
And then now I can also like challenge myself artistically. Even though I still like use the assets from the videos I'm watching, I try to like make something out of it and make it more of an abstract thumbnail and have like the title carry it.
Yeah, I can definitely. Okay, I'm gonna put one of your thumbnails on screen.
Oh no,
here.
Which one? Oh my god, it's not a news video, right? Or is it?
No, okay. It's. Well, I'll just say it's about Enna.
Oh, that one.
Enna's song?
Yeah.
Because I remember vividly seeing this thumbnail, and I'm like, I gotta know what the hell Ezzy was talking about.
Can you imagine? It doesn't, like, if you are not looking at this side by side with her thumbnail, like in memory, you could think, oh, it's similar. But I made it so much more trippy. I
didn't recognize it was your video immediately, but I saw it, was like, what is this? What is going on?
Yeah, that's what I want to do. Like, I don't want people to click on my videos because they know it's me. I want to interest them and intrigue them. And then sometimes I have that.
Yeah, no, I think it's fantastic. Oh gosh,
that's like one of the few things of like my work, because even though I do want to treat YouTube more as like a hobby and like a side thing and something that I want to do, I do often treat it as work, and thumbnails is my work. Unless I just completely take the day off, I'm not on my PC. I have Photoshop open at least a few hours every day. And this is one of the ways I can keep doing it without completely draining myself. Because this is the one way it can give back to me. We're talking about that video and I opened my own channel because I just want to go through it. And like the For You shelf, the first video is the mushroom video.
See, for me, it's number 3.
Oh, there's another thumbnail that I didn't. I was proud of this one.
Oh, let me see. Oh, yeah.
If you have seen his lore video of Shoto, you'd think it's like just a screenshot, but I edited so much of this. It's just...
I remember Oh my gosh, thumbnails are so like this is another one where I'm just like, yeah, I know why people clicked on it.
Yeah. Which one is
so
another good example? Oh, what is also has become one of my hobbies currently is why did I lost the tab I was in. Is trying to make a thumbnail that looks like it could have been made as like the thumbnail for the video itself. Like my take on it, because for a lot of social medias they just take like a screenshot, right? But oh my god,
I think you're one with Zen. I think it was the Zentrea one you did.
Yeah.
That
or like this silver fill one. Let's see.
Yeah,
like,
where
I tried to make it look like it's official art, but it's not, right?
Yeah. That stuff's good. It's good.
Or this one from Astroline. Like, I know chat cannot see it. You can pick which one you want to show your chat, but like at first I was like I did start with that style, and then I went away from it. Like I started including text. Like this is my first video on feature lore, the malware video.
Nice.
And like I just did that as a one-off, by the way, but it just did so well that I was like, oh, let's try it again. That one did also well, and just kept going.
I mean, I feel like that's how a lot of content goes, right? Is you try something and then it does well, and you're like, I could do that again.
Yeah, I didn't even like. It was like I was just going to do the one video. That was my plan. I never intended to do more. Yeah. Oh yeah, the Zentrea one was also one of those.
Yep.
It's like, and like the one more, and then I can like stop being distracted with all of this. Where is my video? Yeah. I usually would like I try to make my thumbnails a bit more distinct in style between like types of video. So my videos on feature music, I just keep reusing the same PNG, mostly because I'm lazy and don't want to take more pictures. But it seemed to work because well, I got the right audience as well of the videos. But this is the one video from feature music, which is like Iron Mouse's Anarchy with Booby. Yeah, I just tried like, what if I was in charge of the thumbnail for the official music video? Because in my honest opinion, that one's just ass. It doesn't, it has Iron Mouse and Booby, but it's so dark. You can barely read the word anarchy in it. And I was like, I can do better. So I just made it for fun, right? And then I was like, wait, I can just use it for my own video.
You know, that's a mood though. That is a mentality that I've had a lot of times throughout content creation. In fact, that was like one of my primary reasons why I started doing like informational stuff back in the day, is because I kept on seeing everyone do stuff and I'm like, I can do that better. And then I did.
Like spite and overconfidence are amazing motivators.
Dude, spite doesn't get enough credit for how much it gets done. Because like, I know it sounds so petty. I know it's petty. But like, you can't discount how much the desire to prove someone wrong
oh yeah
can like get you to do something, or like it's really funny, and it's probably not super healthy, but man, sometimes you see something and you're like, I can do that. I know I can do that. And so you do it. But it, you know, it's like you said, it works. It works so well.
Yeah.
That's why for like a lot of my content creation journey is I tend to pick people that are like close to me in terms of like what they're doing, their stats and stuff. And I am absolutely competing with them. It like, it's a driving force for me. It's like, if they do something cool, it's like, man, I gotta top that. You know?
Oh, I also pick people that make similar content but have more subscribers.
Yes.
And then sometimes I look at how many views their videos get, and I'm like, I get similar views and I have like 10 times the amount of subscribers, and then I can be petty like that. I'm like, look, I'm better than you. I don't tell them that, obviously, but it just feels good. Like,
yeah, you never tell them, but you know.
Like, I see like a 4 out of 10 video and I'm just ready to be depressed, right? And then I look at what people with similar content, more subscribers do, get similar amount of views as I just got. I was like, oh, I'm not really doing bad. I'm doing better than average, but I just did bad compared to myself.
Right,
which is still more than enough.
It is kind of funny though how, at least it sounds so unhealthy to view things like that, but it really just is.
I think it's healthy to a certain degree, though.
Well, yeah, because like I think most of the time, like being that hard on yourself is bad, but being able to compare it to other people who are doing the same thing as you, and if you're doing the same as them, then it's probably not a you problem.
Yeah.
Which is very comforting.
It's comforting, but it also is like, oh, so I'm like, especially because I tend to be pulling like my higher end videos are in similar leagues as like average for a few people I compare myself to, even though they have literally 10 times or more the amount of subscribers I have. And I'm like, okay, so I'm doing pretty well for myself. And it's not that they're doing bad. I'm just doing better than average. And even though I'm like ready to like beat myself up completely, I don't have to. But I also know, oh, I'm doing well. So if I keep going, when I do reach their amount of subscribers, I'm going to be doing better than they are if I keep going how I'm doing. And that just motivates me to keep going and not second guess myself, because I'm so good at just being like, oh, it's not good enough. I need to change it. I need to make it better. And then I look back and I realize, oh, what I do is fine. I just need to keep doing it because this works. It's just growing is slow.
Yeah.
And especially if you're in a niche, like a hyper niche, like VTuber lords.
I mean, like, yeah, that niche really specifically.
It's a hyper niche. It's so funny.
It's a hyper niche that filled up real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Because I remember when I first started doing it, there really wasn't anyone else doing it. There was another guy named Steve Sakai who started about the same time. And then a couple other people, like there was like 5 of us that all started within like a 2-week time span of each other. It's really funny. But like he was doing long form, I was doing short form. Another guy was doing it, but in Spanish. One guy was literally just copying my exact style, which I thought was really funny. But that's a whole fun. He accidentally, quote unquote, uploaded one of my videos just with him voiceover, and I was like, all right, come on, man, like that's too far.
Wait, it was the actual video? It's like you didn't even.
It was like it was a minorly edited version of mine, but like,
oh my god,
I can recognize my style when I see it, and like it's my face is in the video. Like, come on, man. You couldn't even use one of the ones that doesn't have my avatar in it. Like, come on, let's go.
Like, if he 1-for-1 remade it, it would still be sad, but at least it would be funny.
Yeah, but like, low key, that's one of the reasons why in so many of my videos, there's like a cat that's just like somewhere in the background. Like you don't notice it, but it's there. Like I'm just in the background somewhere. It's really funny because this one guy, when he straight up re-uploaded it once, I struck it down because like I'm all for like, I don't think anyone can really own a specific style of doing anything. I think
Yeah,
that's...
but if they're just ripping off
But
your
like,
videos.
if you're just ripping it, like, come on, man. So I started putting myself in just random spots in the videos. They never did it again, but it would have been really funny to be like, haha, see that little tiny pixel cat over there? I know it's me because I put it there.
Oh my god, that's so funny, yo. I noticed
it's so funny.
There's this one channel that is basically like ripping off a few people. It's like the budget version of like some of my videos, some of Evan's videos, and like coefficient and stuff. It's like I think he does like one take, and like he barely cuts anything, and the quality of the camera is like, it's fine enough, and then the mic is like budget, and there's like no editing, like barely any. Like there's some cuts, but I think it's mostly one take. And at that point, I'm like, I admire your dedication, because I think he uploads like once a day, sometimes twice or 3 times, and he just keeps going. And I'm like, I can't even be mad about this.
Yeah, I know someone similar who has, like, that's just what he does. I genuinely don't know how he exists in life, because he started 7 months ago or 8 months ago now, and has 1,000 videos published.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how is it possible to put out 3 to 4 videos a day? That is mind-boggling to me. I would go insane.
Also for months on end.
Like, yeah, and the consistency level, that's the crazy part. Because I check back on their channel every once in a while, and I'm just like, yep, 3 more videos today.
We might be talking about the exact same person, by the way.
I'm going to DM you a name.
Okay.
Is it this person?
Yeah.
Okay, yep.
So, okay, for chat, to give you an idea about this person. So you uploaded a video 21 minutes ago, 3 hours ago, 4 hours ago, 4 hours ago, 12 hours ago, and something that says 1 day ago. But that the amount of videos that say 1 day ago, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Does he get view? He does get views, not a lot.
Sometimes.
But like, if there was ever a better approximation for someone that is just like, there's the allegory of like taking hitting the broadside of a barn with like a shotgun. This guy has a fully automatic machine gun and is just blindly firing at everything. And it doesn't matter. He's hitting stuff occasionally.
Yeah.
He's quite literally the epitome of shoot 1,000 shots, you'll hit something once.
I genuinely think if this guy like dialed it back, his videos might actually get more views. Because I think he's just uploading too much.
I actually kind of agree. If he just turned it down to like 1 a day, just pick, if let's say, and like don't even change any of the videos, right? Like don't change anything. Yeah. It's just pick the best one from the day.
Yeah.
That's it. It would probably do better.
Because what YouTube does for smaller channels is there's only so little space for smaller channels to be recommended. Unless like YouTube knows that the like particular users are really loving your channels. There's only so much space. And usually it's like only one of your videos at a time. And they prioritize like the newest one. But if you upload like 4 videos in the last 24 hours, not all 4 of them are gonna get recommended.
Yeah.
Well, people might be interested in all 4 of them, or like a 1 out of 4. But they're not going to see that 1 out of 4 because you upload 3 more.
Yep. You know, that reasoning that you just gave is actually exactly why I unlisted so much stuff recently. is
Makes
because
sense.
YouTube really does only give your channel when you're, because like I have 50,000 subscribers. That's still tiny in like in comparison to YouTube terms, right?
Yeah.
But like I only ever have 1 or 2 videos that are like doing awesome at any given time, and the rest are fighting for scraps. That's been true constantly. So if this guy just machine gunning out stuff is like, you never get to know if one of those was actually good. Because even if it was, it has what, like 4 hours in the spotlight before the next one just comes running on
exactly. But I've seen the same thing happen on like larger scale, because it happened a few times that Mudan accidentally uploaded or scheduled like 2, 3, or sometimes 4 VODs at the same time instead of like over the span of a few days. None of them did well. Sometimes one of them like peaks out as the best one, but on the VOD channel, like all of the uploads, like they get over 1,000 views. But if you have 4 videos that only get like 600,
yeah,
that's not good. But that's only because a lot of it was too much at once. And I think he messed up one day as well, where we do like double uploads. So like every 12 hours, there's an upload. Mostly because Mouse streams too goddamn much. Otherwise, we would be bad. Like, if I don't, like I do once a week, I work 1 or 2 days on it to like completely catch up. And like, I just go the entire day. That's easily, if it was only an upload per day, like 2 weeks worth of VODs from 1 week, if not more. And she didn't even stream every day. She just streams for 14 hours at a time. And one day I think he just messed up, maybe because he lives in Japan now, by the way. He moved to Japan. I didn't even know it until he posted on YouTube. I think he just messed up with time zones or something, because suddenly there were 3 uploads in the same day. And the last 2 tanked.
Yeah,
not even spread out. Not even at the same time. They were spread out, but the last 2 completely tanked. The next day it was fine again.
It's so funny how like that just works. Because when I've been in like super content creation mode, back when I was doing the the lore videos every day, I also noticed that like, because at a certain point in time, after that month and a half of just going constantly, I was like, okay, you know what? We're doing 2 a week. That's it. We're gonna do 2 a week for the rest of the year and lock it in. And all of a sudden, when I started to step off the gas pedal a little bit, the views went crazy up because I wasn't flooding the market anymore. It's like, yeah, do I think all the videos I were making were probably similar in quality? Yeah, they were. But like the fact that I was just shoving out so many of that particular style, it was flooding the market. And when I gave things a little bit of time to breathe, they did crazy.
Yeah.
But
I have similar, where sometimes because of like news and like things coming out, I have like 3 videos that need to come out ASAP. So I have like 3 days in a row where I upload, which is fine as long as I don't upload for another week.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, like the videos I post in succession, especially if they benefit from recency, they do well. But if the 4th video is not related to anything recent or like time-based,
you're basically just killing all the hype around the other 3.
I'm killing the other 3, and the 4th video just gets like 60 views.
To give a very topical example, if you make 3 videos about a certain company this week, and then you make your 4th video like, haha, here's funny moments in Overwatch. It's like, well, you probably killed the momentum for everything all at once.
Yep.
So it's fascinating.
So volatile. Yeah.
I can't. I shouldn't be surprised that Mouse uploads every 12 hours, but
it's the Fox channel though, so
true. It's just it's
and it
crazy.
also has a specific reason though, like it has to be cut up in that many pieces. First of all, copyright. If the file is longer than 6 hours, it needs to be cut down. So either I split it in half, or I remove like a random 20-minute talking section to get it under or something. But I also started learning, if we upload shorter VODs that are only one topic, like she's playing one game, instead of like, oh, she plays Minecraft and Silent Hill. Even though it's combined maybe 4 hours, so well under the threshold, it's not gonna get a lot of views because the Silent Hill people are gonna click on it and be like, well, this is not what I wanted. And then the other people that wanted to watch for Minecraft, they just click off halfway through.
Yep.
So it doesn't do well. And I had to do that in the subathon days already, but I kind of quit if she just streamed for like 6 hours, I would keep it as a singular VOD. But then we started getting strikes and more copyright issues. I'm like, okay, the more we spread things, the less risk.
Well, I mean, that's literally
she's
how
reacting to stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. If she sometimes if she's like just chatting before she starts the game or just watching some videos before she starts the game, I'd keep it together. But I started separating any and all reaction content because it's just too damn dangerous.
Yeah. But you know, the funny thing about cutting VODs up, and I think this is specifically a YouTube thing, I think that YouTube live stream VODs in general, and just YouTube live streams, period, do better when they're singularly topic focused.
Yeah.
Is like, because even people that click on this stream is like, this is very much a podcast stream. It's in its own playlist, you know, they know I'm going to be talking to you, right? But like, if I started playing Pal World immediately, like, you know, if I kicked you off the screen and started playing Pal World, people would be like, what the hell is this? What's going on here? We didn't want this.
Yeah, live viewers would drop off, but the VOD frogs would also like be like, well, I watched what I wanted, bye. Yeah.
I mean, that's it. That's Northern Lion's entire video strategy. Is he streams for, you know, several hours, but each video is just the section of stream based around that thing. So if he played, you know,
you restart stream every time. That's smart.
Well, no, he's a Twitch streamer that just uploads to YouTube. But
okay, that makes sense.
His entire YouTube channel is just, his videos are just the cut up stream sections of like, okay, today this video is about him playing this game. It's literally just the cut section of that stream when he started playing the game in a video. That's it. There's like not even any editing.
Yeah, so it's similar to what I do for our Mouse's Thoughts channel.
Yeah. And it's like, I feel like that's a strategy that works because,
yeah, it definitely works.
On YouTube, people just want to see what, like, they clicked on the video, they know what they want to see. If you give them anything other than what they want to see, they're gone. You know?
In an ideal world, I would even, like, I do it more often nowadays. Also because it works, and sometimes I just try things out and see if Mudan says something about it, right? Like, oh no, this is too much, you cannot do this, or please keep this together with that. And I just try, and then I hear nothing back, so I just keep going until a point that ID says something, or I'm like, okay, I don't need to go any further. But more and more, I just separate the just chatting streams completely. So like, if she just chats for an hour before she starts playing a game, I section it out. So the section where she starts playing the game, she almost immediately within the minute opens the game. And often she's already talking about the game. And I see that those VODs are doing better because it immediately gets into what people are looking for. And to be fair, VOD frogs and VOD watchers, they don't need like the hyperactive intro. At least when they open the VOD, they kind of know what they're getting into, or they know that they're watching what they click for. Then it's fine. But but it still works. That's like she says like, oh, we're gonna play Pal World, and then she like, even if she doesn't immediately open the game, she is already talking about Pal World or the plan she had was coming. You can hear the music already from the login screen, just because she's not showing a screen yet, but you can already hear it. Those VODs do infinitely better.
Yeah,
and it's like the small things. Oh yeah, and timestampers are nice, and I cannot be bothered, nor am I paid enough to actually go in to do really proper timestamps. So if there are timestamps on IRM's VODs, it's usually chatting, name of the game, reacting, or if it's a longer chatting stream, and she goes like, oh, she's talking alone, and then she's talking to Centrea, and then Centrea leaves, and then Connor comes in. I timestamp like them coming and leaving, if I do it at all. Like, it's a really basic, so people can scroll through if they want to. Or there's something in the VOD that, like, for time constraints or whatever, couldn't be cut off. Like, if she's only playing Minecraft for 45 minutes, I'm not gonna cut that away. That can stay at the end of Silent Hill or whatever, right? But then it's still timestamped, so people that are looking at it, they know, oh, she's also playing Minecraft at the end. Interesting.
Yeah. I need to get better about doing timestamps. But I mean, at least I feel like I've also really tried to structure my streams in such a way that, you know, I feel like every streamer does just chatting for at least part of the stream, you know, before they get into stuff. But other than that, like, we're only going to do what the title of the stream says. And then once that's done, it's like, well, thanks for coming, everyone. It's over. Bye-bye.
I do think that, like, a lot of YouTube streamers, they can definitely benefit from going back into the VOD and at least timestamp when the starting soon screen is over.
True.
Because I often go to the comments to see if someone did it, and it's just so much easier if someone has something that I can click on. Like, there are very little streams where I actually don't mind the starting soon screen a bit. Because, like, for example, Underhill streams with the virtual tea house. I often click on that stream on, like, Tuesday when I just start my work. So, as the starting soon screen is, like, running when I'm, like, opening up Photoshop, opening up Premiere, and, like, setting things up so I can work. So, by the time it actually is starting, I am already, like, almost working. And also helps that his background music is kind of nice. But sometimes there is just like the starting soon screen is like super erratic, or the music keeps changing, and it's kind of annoying. And I'm like, I just want to click through, and then I have to go look when it actually starts. And then often I'm like, nah, never mind.
You know what?
I click on something in the sidebar, and there's like usually a music playlist or something.
Yeah, something that I've actually considered starting to do. Are you familiar with a program called Recut?
I think you mentioned it, that takes out all the silences.
Yeah, but you can like fine tune it and stuff, so it doesn't remove like literally everything. But
no.
because someone mentioned in chat that it's crazy that Northern Lion's been doing this for so long. But I think it's just, I feel like YouTube is just as much of a patience game as it is like a skill game.
Oh, yeah.
I am of the opinion that if you make anything, it will eventually find the person who wants to watch it.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so if you're just staying consistent with, like, you know, these very lightly edited streams, you know, and you just want to watch some dude being chill, talking about life stories while playing, you know, a game, you're going to find Northern Lion eventually.
Yeah.
And something that I've actually wanted to experiment with doing is, because I've actually tried this a couple times where as soon as the stream's over, or as soon as it's done processing, I literally just open up the YouTube editor and X the starting soon screen and repost it as a video. Like, same thumbnail, same title, same everything. Ignore the Roomba.
Oh, I couldn't even hear it.
Oh, good. It's so loud to me, but no one ever hears it, and I feel like I'm going paranoid. But, you know, just re-uploading it Well, it's not even re-uploading. It's just YouTube publishes it as if it were a VOD at that point, which is interesting.
Yeah, because you're editing the stream, right?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, so it just edits the existing thing. Like that's a big reason why we do the Iron Mouse VODs, even though we publish it as a video for only like under the 6 hours, because that's how much YouTube editor allows as a maximum to be edited. Because sometimes it's not just the system that YouTube has where you have to like edit things out, because if you get like demonetized because they found some music in it, you can like automatically cut it out through the system, right? If it's over 6 hours, it won't let you. But sometimes Meta also gets messages or emails from people like, hey, our video's in here, can you remove it? So that needs to be removed. So there was one time there was like a 5-hour VOD or something, and with everything that had to be taken out, eventually it was less than an hour long. And the thing like, I used for the title and the thumbnail wasn't even in there anymore. You also messed up one time where you know how finicky the YouTube editor is, where you have to be really specific, like you have to know whether what you're selecting is gonna cut or what you're selecting is what's gonna be left.
I've done that. Oh, that's the worst. It's like, okay, so, I need to cut out this 3-minute section. Where's the other 5 hour? Oh God, I just deleted 5 hours of VODs. Yeah, and you can't get it back. That's the crazy thing, is it's gone. It's just straight up gone.
Yep. Murdoch had that once that only like 5-ish minutes was left. So I first saw that and I saw the thing and I thought there was like a clips channel or something, from like an unofficial clips channel that had just ripped off my thumbnail.
But it was the actual
but it was the VOD, and I was like, hold up. But I messaged Moon and he was like, oh shit.
Freaking YouTube, man. YouTube and their dumb tools that are just not it's so close to being actually useful, but I'm so scared whenever I actually have to use the YouTube editor, because I've done it twice. I've nuked 2 VODs twice. And all that's left is just the starting soon screen. And I'm like, so those VODs don't exist anymore because I removed them, but it's just like, come on, man. Like, it's awful.
Yeah. Like, there's a reason, like, a lot of people always say, like, oh, you can just export your VODs from Twitch directly to YouTube, and then you can just edit out your starting soon screen there. And like, no.
It's because, like, yeah, first of all, you can if you want to roll those dice.
It takes 10 minutes to actually get the right cut, because it's a lot harder to like get a precise cut. And then you have to hope, and it still has to like process for hours because it's a VOD, right? It's so much easier.
People do not understand how long YouTube processing can take sometimes. Like,
it's so much easier to just download the VOD.
Almost every time. Yeah, and then just do the cut.
Yeah, and then just render it, and then you can walk away from your PC, and if something went wrong, you'll know before it's actually live.
Yeah. It's just, because I feel like eventually YouTube will have an editor that's at least more useful than it is right now. Because like it's been slowly getting better. Slowly, but it is.
Like, AI is like a touchy subject with a lot of people, but I think like editing software could, and like especially the YouTube editor, could deal with like a really good AI tool.
Yes.
So like automatically because for example, a lot of like the music stuff that gets like claimed, it's not always precisely the song.
No,
sometimes it's like you get random like 20-second segments of the song, and then you cut that out, and then you have 5 seconds of the song somewhere and then cuts to like a completely different part of the song for another 5 seconds. Or it wants you to remove much more than just song. Like even parts where the song is not playing. Like an AI tool, like they already kind of have it where you can remove just the song. And that's not bad actually.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Not a bad tool. Like the audio gets a bit fucked, but I keep using it because it does say like the more it's used, the better it gets. Like might as well just use it because eventually it might be good. Even if it's just training on my VODs. But that it like has an AI like thing that can actually detect the start and the end of the song, or the start of the end of the claimed video. So you can make like a clean frame perfect cut without having too much issues. Like that would be a good use of AI.
There's a lot of stuff in editing that I think is a good use of AI. And like that's just one of the many things and many tools that could be available. But YouTube's going to take a little bit to get there.
YouTube is taking a long time for a lot of things.
They have announced so many cool things. So many cool things.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 or 3 years ago. And it's just taking them forever. And it's just pain. It's just pain.
Other things they do release are like only half working. Like with the gifted memberships kind of thing. On my current account, where I'm logged in, where I can talk on, like this one, I cannot receive gifted memberships. And
is it because you're a mod?
No, because it's a brand account, and the brand account misses certain settings panels.
That's so...
I literally cannot go to the settings panels where you can opt in for gifted subs.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to know something else that's really dumb about branded accounts? So, recently they announced they were going to do things like letting people gift memberships to their
free gifted memberships, right? Yeah.
But guess what? Guess who can't gift memberships?
Brand accounts?
Brand accounts can't gift memberships, which is literally every content creator's account is a brand account. Literally all of them.
Even if it's not like, I can understand why they're like doing that to a degree. Like otherwise people would make like 15 accounts and just give people free memberships, right?
Sure, but just lock it behind a subscriber count. Like that's all you have to do. It's just lock it behind. Or maybe just like it's limited
to one account, like one channel linked to one Google account.
Yeah, something just like that. Just something. But like that's messed up. And then I think my favorite fiasco with membership accounts when they first came out, I actually made a video about this. It got a lot of views, and then YouTube told me to take it down because it was inaccurate. But
they actually called it.
Yeah, so I have a hidden. It's still on my channel. It's said. Man, I'm having trouble talking. It basically says don't give out YouTube memberships. Like don't gift people memberships. If you want to support them, give them super chats. Because back when they first released them, I was so excited. I'm like, oh, I can finally give gifted memberships to my friends' channels. It's gonna be awesome. Except for if you're giving batches of memberships, if people don't accept them, they get refunded.
Oh yeah.
That's like, well, so dumb.
Yes and no. If you, for example, gift 5 memberships, if one person accepts one and the other 4 not, it doesn't get refunded. The streamer still gets the money, but only one membership is actually given.
Yeah, but that if people did, because it was brand new, right? So people didn't know like what the hell is this, right? So I gifted 10 memberships to a buddy. No one accepted one. And like a month later, it's like, hey, you got refunded. And I'm like, refunded for what? And I was so pissed because I'm like, come on, I gave that money to a friend.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, and then it got refunded. I was very upset. So I made a video about it.
Where if you give more memberships than there are currently people watching, they just either they get immediately refunded or they just disappear into the ether.
It's so dumb.
I think it was actually your stream where I started to like figure out why I was never receiving gifted subs, because everyone in your chat that day was subbed and there were more subs given. Eventually I was the only one without. And still was given. And I did not get like pop-ups. I couldn't find the setting.
You know what? That's actually fascinating.
And I started looking into it and I was like, what the nerve?
You know, now that I think about it, I've also never gotten, the only channels I am members of is because I have paid for a membership. I've never received a gifted membership on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm a brand account. That's so dumb. Why would you do this? Like that's literally stupid.
I also broke the heart of a lot of how do I say this? Because I don't want to say a certain word, my brain's not comparing. Corporate VTubers on YouTube. That's a good word. It was a specific company, but I tweeted about this. Like, oh, this is something stupid. And then a lot of people were like heartbroken in my replies. Like, so that's why. And then a bunch of them realized, oh, I recently like converted my account to a brand account because I want to like hide my name and stuff. So by doing that, I actually fucked up. Yes, you did. And YouTube doesn't tell you because every time, like,
that's so
when I first
stupid.
Yeah, when you like convert a channel into a brand account or you make one, YouTube essentially basically just tells you like, oh, there's barely anything different. It's just easier to access by multiple people. Like if you're working on the channel together with other people, it's easier to have a brand account, and it's also safer because it's like you can just give permissions instead of having to share passwords. So I'm like, oh, bet, right? There's not really that much difference, but it's easier to have multiple channels tied to one account. But what they don't tell you is that you're literally missing settings. And I genuinely also think as well that brand accounts not being able to accept gifted subs is not per se intentional. It's just with how they created the settings. That they currently don't have it that you can access those specific setting boards. Because it's not just that you're missing that specific settings in your existing settings pages. No, it's the entire page that you're lacking. I can buy membership because it's a different settings page.
That's so dumb.
I think it's like a whole settings page that has to do with like opting in and like consent stuff and stuff. I still think it's weird as well that you have to opt in. Like there's literally no downside from randomly receiving a membership for someone.
Even only
if you're
thing,
not interested.
So, you know what's funny is I actually used to have that same mentality, but I can understand why they did it if you look at it through the context of why they took away the dislike button as well. So, like, let's say that you are a creator who is getting harassed, right? And like, let's say you put out a lot of membership content that's more personal, right?
Yeah.
If someone can forcibly gift memberships to other people, like let's say you get hate rated on YouTube, which doesn't really happen much, but it, you know, it could, right?
Yeah.
So like, let's say you get hate rated. So now all these people that don't like you, and then one person, because, you know, people are weird like that. They could dump like $100 on you, give you a ton of gifted memberships with the hopes that some of their buddies get to sneak into your membership content now and can now start using that as ammunition against you. So like, I could see that being an argument. I don't think it's the best one. I think there's other ways of maybe getting around that moderation. I do think that creators should be able to just, like, if you have a problem member, I think you should just be able to kick him out. you know, block him from paying anymore. That would be my ideal option.
Yeah,
but
or
like,
just block them from viewing your membership contents.
Yeah. So I
maybe that could cause legal action because they can still pay.
Well, what I mean by that is, like, if you block them, my ideal setting would be if you block them, they can't pay. You know, they're kicked out and they can't pay.
Yes.
Maybe it even refunds them, you know? Just like get them out. But so like I could see that specific scenario why you would have to opt in.
Where you could only raid people that had specifically
requested you. Like, you are allowed to raid me before they finally added the setting where you can raid anyone.
Yeah. But the person that was receiving also had to, like, add on, like you can raid of everyone. Yeah, you still have to turn it on, but you can opt in for it. And I think if they had a similar setting for gifted memberships where, like, anyone in the chat can get one. Because even, I feel like they could circumvent the whole brand account nonsense already by just allowing at least the pop-up in chat, like, allow this gift sub.
Yeah.
Because you can...
I mean, that's how it used to be. Like, it used to pop up.
I think it's still, like, the case. If you have a normal account, you have not globally opt-in, you get the pop-up, and otherwise you can just get it randomly. But I feel like if you don't want brand accounts to globally opt in, let them opt in on a case-to-case basis. If they are randomly selected, have them allow, right? But then the setting is still backwards though, because if it's against hate rates and having people like sneak into your membership accounts, the receiver is the one giving consent. The streamer is still completely like lost. They have no control. So if someone comes in and gives 100 subs, if all their buddies are still saying allow, they still get the subs.
Yeah, I think it's a messed up system either way.
It's like you got less actually randoms that have nothing to do with it, and then see, oh, I got a subscription, let's see. But like if people are malicious, the allow button doesn't keep them away.
Yeah. So
if anything, the streamer should have like a thing like prioritize people that are subscribed to my channel or anything.
Yeah. I don't know. YouTube's just like, YouTube has the potential to make awesome tools. And they've announced so many awesome tools. I just wish they would actually get around to finishing making them.
Exactly.
I want more people over here on YouTube. I want my streaming friends over here. I like viewing on YouTube.
I started multi-streaming right before my break, where if it's like a non-gaming stream or something unless it's like reacting to something I cannot react to on YouTube, I start to like multicast. So I'm on both platforms. So I don't have to bother with the VOD later on. So it's already on YouTube.
Yeah.
But people can pick and choose which platform they prefer.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like because I've been multi-streaming for about, what is it, 2 months now? Whenever they made the announcement, right? But your chatting chaos, that is also has the chat, right? Yeah, that's connecting Twitch and YouTube chats.
I need to figure out how to do that because that might actually help me.
So you know what's funny? Honestly, it's more for me to just have one spot to look at chat, because that was my big problem before. Is I am not good at like keeping track of multiple windows of chat, and like even in OBS having the multiple docs, it's not super helpful.
Oh, the way I restream has like a built-in chat doc for that.
I do know that Restream has it, but I'm using plugins to do it rather than Restream because I didn't want to pay for Restream.
Oh, if you have Restream just in OBS, then you don't have to pay, and you're also not rate limited.
Oh, interesting. I'll have to
That you
maybe
can,
check
like,
it out.
yeah, you can, like, the only restriction is how much your PC and internet can hold. Because if you do it through their website, you only send out one stream and they take care of the rest, but it's like limited unless you pay. I think it's like 2 channels at the same time and you can only stream in 720p. But if you take the in OBS version of it, it will do 2 streams if you do 2 streams, 3 if you do 3 or whatever. So it's completely on your hardware, but they allow you to simultaneously cast it to multiple platforms from your hardware.
Interesting. I'll have to check that out.
You do have to like make sure your settings are compatible with both the channels, because what looked good on Twitch absolutely garbage on YouTube, to the point where YouTube didn't even render the stream into like high definition.
I do know that YouTube is definitely more hungry for rate limiting. That's definitely true.
Yeah, it requires a higher base, but if you go too far in that direction, it also limits you. So I have this one stream that just looks like complete ass, but it's a VOD, so I'm like, hey, what I do?
Hey, you know what? If it works, it works. All right. Well, we've been chatting for quite a bit.
Yeah.
I don't want to take up too much of your time today, but I've also had a nice little Q&A going this entire stream.
I was debating whether I wanted to like randomly send something like really atrocious, because only you could see it, like see your reaction to it, but I couldn't come up with anything. I love the Q&A thing, because sometimes like I just throw in something that I know the streamer will not pull up, but I know they will see it.
Yeah, I have a certain member of chat who likes to do that a lot. You know who you are. And actually, we're going to start off with their question, because they finally phrased a different question for us.
Oh.
So this is our infamous villager, who says, I can't ask the usual because the cat doesn't want me to. So do you... Oh, whoops. So do you think that one object in your room is actually a cake in disguise?
It could be. It started to smell funny here in the last few days. But it might be because I didn't open my window for like a week straight. That might also be possible.
Fair enough.
I promise it doesn't. I promise it doesn't stink in here. It's like, even if I don't open the window, the door is open when I'm not in my office, and like every other room has the windows open. But it was just so cold here, and I didn't want to ruin like the nice comfy temperature. Like, I don't even use my radiator unless it's like actually freezing outside, because my PC generates enough heat.
I wish that where I lived I could do that, but it gets so cold here that if I'm if I'm even remotely close to a window, I have to have like a small space heater, because it's just so freaking cold.
I have to duck up these gloves, because if it's really cold and I have like the hoodie or like a jacket and everything on, my hands would just be cold, and my entire fingertips would just turn white. So I only just found them, and it's like starting to get warmer here again. Like, but that doesn't say anything, because it has happened that it's snowed in April, so I don't know what the temperatures are gonna be. Oh yeah, I can. It was like 12 degrees Celsius here. For comparison, like 20 degrees is like a room temperature. And 0 is where water starts to freeze. So it's like a good midway between in-house and freezing. So today is like semi-spring day. It was not very sunny, but temperature-wise, really nice. It can easily be -5 next week, or even snowing.
It's -1 Celsius where I am right now.
Oh god.
So, but today's a nice day.
Yeah. Let's see. It's like 9 right now here, which is really comfy.
I don't mind colder temperatures. It's
Oh, I
just
prefer them too.
my problem is I live in a desert, so it's either insanely cold or insanely hot. We get like 1 to 2 months of the year where it's like, this is a nice temperature. And then it's back to, okay, there's either frost on the road or your car's melting. Okay. Well, thanks. Thanks there, I guess.
Oh, I love it when it's like freezing. Because how do you call it? The air is like it's like not just dry, but it has like a certain quality to it. So it's really nice for my asthma. So I can finally like breathe properly. And I also like just walking my dog like really early in the morning. And I like being all propped up in like gloves and scarves and everything. So I don't mind that. And then the cold air, and then I can actually breathe and stuff. But if it's like 2 degrees over it, then I feel like everything is like wet and sweaty and ugh.
I do think that like dry cold air is like, I don't know if it's possible to like how a specific type of air feels to breathe. That sounds weird, but I do like, because again, I live in a desert, so it's humidity's, even if there's snow on the ground, humidity's not really a thing.
Yeah.
But like, man, walking around in the morning with like that puff of like cold, dry air, I don't know what it is, but it does feel like your lungs are just like, yes, this is what we want. It feels so good.
It's really good for you. It's really good for you as well. But like, I like it with my asthma. I'm also looking at like a hill question. Like, I don't even know what to say to that now.
I mean, but it's a question for you. Why are you so base and Austin Pilden?
I didn't even think I was, so I cannot even tell you the why. I don't do well with compliments. That's my thing. I like literally.
Why? But
I just
you're so talented.
Yeah, but that's like my problem. I don't even like I've come over the part where I like actually hate everything I'm doing. I think it's trash. But I just feel like I'm just a little guy and I'm just here. I'm just existing. I just do what I like and I don't really think anything particular of it. People seem to like it. I'm in such a neutral stance that I think is actually worse for your mind. Because I don't hate it, but I'm also not impressed with it. I'm always caught off guard, like, people like this? Okay.
I mean, that
to
is
answer your question on Nail, I have no clue. But thank you for saying it is.
Here's an interesting one from Jose. Is it just my imagination or am I hearing a Boston accent?
You're on the wrong continent.
Because I know the answer to this question, but
I
definitely
live in
not
the
Boston.
Netherlands.
Yeah.
I've never been to the US. And I'm pretty sure, like, I've went into my family tree. As far as I could find, and I don't know if they're like extra like branches towards other countries, but as far as I could find, was like 1700s. The most Dutch people of Dutch existence. Like the most basic name. You know how John Smith is like a basic name? We have a Dutch version of it. Jan Smit. And like, there's so many people in my family tree that are like called Jan or Henk or anything like that. Everyone has the same name. Even my dad apparently has the same name as a few of his uncles and like I think his grandparents or like the brother of his grandfather.
You're just Ezzy the Netherlands.
it's I'm just looking at it and I'm like, that's the thing. I do want to do a DNA test though, because I'm pretty sure, I'm like so sure that there are like branches of my family that come from like Scandinavia, and it's like a hunch I have had for like a long time. But also I know there's some like Southern Europe, because on my dad's side, everyone has like dark brown eyes. But we're like all white as fuck. and most of them are born with like pretty much white blonde hair. So like we're very white over here, but we have the brown eyes. Where are those coming from? Not from here.
Genetics are always weird like that.
Oh yeah, I find it really funny.
Like, I'm one of the few people in my family who doesn't have like super dark hair. Like, it's still dark, but like, it's like, why was I the one that has weird hair?
Can you imagine when I was born, my hair was almost white? You wouldn't say. Genetics
are weird like that, you know?
Oh yeah, my dad also had that, but his hair is currently black. It's more salt and pepper currently because he just turned 61, but for all of how I can remember, his hair was just jet black. It was just black. Not even like a very dark brown, just black. And I see pictures, and he had even lighter hair than what I had when I was like a kid.
Fascinating.
And my hair is turning darker as well, so I don't mind if my hair eventually also becomes black, because I like that. I prefer darker hair. I actually dyed my hair black for years. Oh god, this is a question and a half.
Yeah,
what's the difference between a VTuber and a FlashTuber ups and downs? So I don't even so for some
I've done
reason
both. I've done both.
I got a chibi VTuber model. I've got a few free models. If anything, with the VTuber stuff, I prefer not being on camera because it's just very draining, and I'm always hyper aware of what I'm doing. But I've been able to shut it off right now. This is like, I think the first time I'm on someone else's stream with my camera. And it's kind of chill. I am not as anxious as on my own streams. But I do feel it's more personal. And also, my face is not emotive enough for VTuber models to pick it up.
Well, I mean, you say that. But my face is also not emotive. I've just done a lot of fine tuning. And
yeah, but I don't understand anything about that. I always end up with one of my eyes not blinking.
It's kind of like that. It's actually kind of hard for me to get that to happen now. But
yeah,
you know, it's funny because I feel like, because I've done both. Mm-hmm. I've actually done, I think, IRL streaming and content creation for still longer than I've done VTubing. In like, if you tally up everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think the biggest difference between the two is IRL's content creation is able to go with the flow a lot more and adjust things very quickly than I feel like VTubing can. Because VTubing, if you are trying to do something like off script and have it still fit with everything, it's not like you can just go, you know, if I have a water bottle and I pick it up, it's not magically on screen like Ezzy can. Or, you know, if I want to change my setting, I can't just, you know, rotate the camera or, you know, things. Oh, good Lord. You know, I can't just change things immediately. Now, you can do some funny things where, you know, you can pull random PNGs off the internet and slam them on screen and make like super chaotic stuff happen, which is, I think, a VTubing specific thing. But like, they each have different strengths and they each have different weaknesses. And I think for the most part, VTubing, you really need to have a reason to be a VTuber, because if you don't, it just kind of sucks.
Oh yeah.
That's my honest to God opinion, is if you don't have a good reason to be a VTuber, for the love of God, don't become one. It's not worth it.
Yeah, like there's like something about me where people keep forgetting I'm not a VTuber. Probably just with the people I hang out with and what I do. So in most regards, I'm like a VTuber, just no model. I have a camera, which is super fascinating to think about, because a lot of people think that VTubers are just streamers that use a model, but it's there's a specific type of how you do your content and like personality and stuff. And it's so funny that somehow I found that without actually being a VTuber. Maybe because I'm surrounded by VTubers, that's a problem. Evan suffers from the same thing. It's just so funny. I had
But Evan is a
VTuber.
We can prove this.
Yeah, he has so many models.
He has more models than most VTubers I know.
It's so hilarious. Like, he has, like, even though he uses like pre-made models, he also has models that are custom. Like, he has several. Like, he has the chibi one, but he also has like a half body one that's like khaki made. And I think he also had older models as well. He showed all the models he had in his YouTube studio at some point. And like, most of them were custom. Even though they were like scuffed and old, most of them were custom. That was the funniest bit. But I have plans on becoming a VTuber. I have a design. I have an entire ref sheet. First, I didn't have the money, and eventually I did have the money. I lost trust in people to commission completely, because I tried to get a design done first.
That is the biggest mood.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get... So... We have a lovable little scamp of a side character named Raelz on this channel.
Yeah.
I've been promising to make her real for so long. It's not for lack of trying. I've just... The number of artists I have talked to try and make a model the way I want it made is infuriating.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating. And like, I can't imagine doing it like for the first time again. It just, it's such a painful process.
I've also found a distinct lack of people that, first of all, do male or masculine presenting feature models.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's a thing.
That's one problem. But then if I do find them, they're like the hyper masculine or like super handsome Ikemen. So while I am more looking for something more androgynous, and then I also like need that person to understand I'm looking for androgynous, not like for a super feminine
not be
man.
shonen, you know.
Yeah, but also not like a man that's basically like either a girl that's super masculine, like butch lesbians, or a fanboy. Like, I'm just actually looking for something that's androgynous in the way that I am, right? Yeah. and people cannot seem to figure that one out. And then I work with someone, and then first of all, I gave them like a whole document with things I was looking for or wasn't sure on, and I added a lot of things like, hey, I need your opinion about this because I don't know the designer. I don't know what would look good. They ignored most of it. Went with something. And first of all, I'd like to think I want something with purple as the main color. But it would sort of resemble how I look IRL, because I would have to combine it with my IRL streaming stuff. So I can like use the character interchangeably. Maybe just a fantasy touch to it. They ignored pretty much all of that. The only purple that was in the design were the eyes. So I specifically requested the color for the eyes. The rest of it was like a teal color, which I was not mad about. The design is pretty good, but it wouldn't be something I could use as a VTuber model. And then they like forgot that I got like a package, so it wouldn't be just a design, but it would be a ref sheet and like you got extra things to it. They forgot the second half, and then they basically ghosted me for a while. And then I was like, well, just refund me for the second half. Come on. And then I didn't even get half, like, I didn't get half of the commission, but I got half the money back only. And that's when Saikeki helped me with my design. But by the time I actually had the money, I no longer wanted that as a design. because like I changed as a person and I changed my mind on what I wanted. And now I'm just like, well, let's just abandon all that. And also, I'm still waiting on a commission from like a year ago because I wanted a starting soon screen or like a thumbnail kind of thing. And I commissioned someone and they were like a friend of a friend. So I was like, oh, I can trust them, right? Because I know them. They're not some random person on Twitter that's going to scam me, right?
I've learned the hard way that often leads to worse results.
Yeah. And they also did emergency commissions because their tablet broke. But they underpriced their commissions so badly that they had to take on a lot of commissions to pay for it. And at first I was like, okay, well, this can maybe take a couple months, right? And I was not per se in a hurry. So I told them like, oh, you can have others that have like bigger projects or more hurry go in front of me. I don't have that much like haste.
Right.
But it took 6 months before I even like got updates, even though I kept asking for them and they kept saying stuff like, oh, school and other things were busy. And I was like, okay, fine. And then I commissioned them in February last year. I only got a sketch in August. And I asked them for a revision of the sketch, never got the revision. They did reply when I said, hey, if you have not started coloring yet, I want to change up some of the coloring because it was the design I originally had made, right?
Right.
And I was like, if I change like a couple colors, it doesn't necessarily has to be the design because the design I have, the hair color is a bit darker than my own, etc. And the eyes are yellow, not brown. And I was like, hey, can we change like a few colors, like minorly? And she was like, fine. But I never heard back. And eventually I messaged her, hey, can you just refund me? Well, she has been MIA for months. Her last tweet was months before the last message she sent me. So I don't think I'll ever see that commission or my money. Luckily, it was not that much money. But I'm so upset. And it was the second time it happened. And I'm like, I just need someone to like level with me for like a second.
It's, it's funny. It's why. So because I've gotten burned similarly to that. Two of the artists that I've tried to work with just straight up disappeared. Like, as in like Twitter deleted, disappeared.
Oh, mine are just... Twitter still exists. She just ghosted.
One artist in particular that I use... I've got like 3 artists, thankfully. Thank God I have them. But like that I trust with everything. It's like, hey, if I need something, I know I can DM one of these 3 people and they will get it done by the time they say they will get it done. Or if I'm like, if I need like a rush order, they'll be realistic, be like, hey, I don't know if I can get this done in this amount of time. And I'm like, you just saying, I don't know if I can do this gives me so much more trust in you. Because you're telling me you're not sure that you can do it. That's like a level of awareness that makes me be like, oh, but you can
only go up from there, right? So
right, like it's so funny how someone saying that immediately gets me to instill so much more trust in them. It's because like, oh, you know what your capability is. That means so much to me. And so that's why I've used I'll give them a shout out because they're probably here in chat. Cinnamon Moon. I've used her so much for so much stuff because she's so freaking reliable.
Is that also their Twitter?
I believe that's their Twitter at Cinnamon Moon. Actually, Cinnamon Moon, if you're here, what is your Twitter handle off topics or off? If you're still here. I don't know if you're still here.
Yeah, because the Cinnamon Moon I have here, it doesn't seem to be an artist.
Yeah, it's at Cinnamon Moon.
Okay, let's see.
Do you know what? I'm just going to post their Twitter in chat. Go follow them, people. They're great.
I got a spiritual coach.
There we go. Go follow Cinnamon Moon. They're great.
Oh, Cinnamon Moon, not Cinnamon Moon.
Oh yeah, no, it's Cinnamon Moon.
I'm so stupid. Oh my god.
No, it's all good. But I've used them for so much stuff. And then like other people who do like my reference sheet for Raelz whenever she actually does come out, like that's another example of an artist that I'm like, man, if I really need some, I can just yell. You know,
Oh my
Starlight's
God.
been great to work with. Like
The-
it's just there's so many artists that I've had the pleasure of working with that I can be like, yes. It's like they're like my infinity gauntlet of just like I know people and they do good work. Oh, probably because I've been burned so many times that I really focus in on the people who have come through for me at times because man, there's no replacement for people that you can trust for artists. And then Swody, who actually did the they did the logo for this stream. They're over on Twitch. They're great. Like it's funny. It's just all these random people. They're just great. I'm happy that I found so many people that I really like working with. But I think the reason why I enjoy them so much is because I've been burned like you have.
Oh yeah.
It's the whole once you know terrible things, it's like, oh, you can recognize good people. You know, I'm just gonna start linking people's Twitters in chat because I can, and you can't stop me.
Oh no, I am happy about that. I'm gonna save.
Roy! Oh, Roy's on the short stream. What's up, Roy?
Oh wow. Where's the I don't even have that open. Hi, Roy. Let me put this.
It's
Somewhere
really
I can find
funny. I love seeing who joins which stream because they're like, huh, why is no one in here? It's like, well, you're on that one. I'm just gonna link everyone's channels because I can.
I much appreciate that because I sometimes have a hard time finding someone that does an art style I want. But I'm so willing to compromise on what art style I want with someone that actually gets the job done without so much headaches.
Yeah. There you go. I just listed a bunch of artists. People go find them. It's what showed up when I right-click your name on Discord and click watch stream. Oh, yeah, it's because the stream goes live second.
That's
why.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
Because not all the streams start at the same time.
Oh my god! That Will person that you just linked?
No, Will's awesome.
The pinned art of Scarbush? Holy shit.
They are okay. What? I know they're not here, so I can talk about them, and it's funny. To say that they are a Scaramouche simp would be the understatement of the century.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, you don't make something this detailed if you don't like the character, or you are not getting paid top bucks for it.
They have a lot of Scaramouche art, and I vividly remember watching their stream of them pulling for Scaramouche because they had saved up 2 million prima or 2. Was it 2 million? 2 million prima gems or some like ungodly number. They had enough to pull him 6 times over.
Jesus.
And they did it on stream. It was insanity. It was actual insanity. Oh, it was 200,000. That's what the number was. It was actual insanity.
They also seem to like Kafka.
Yes, you know what the funny thing is? The reason why I commissioned them in the first place is because of how they do mouths for like my reference sheet. Is because I want a character that can smirk like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So but like they're great. I love all the artists I work with. They're all great. So Swody, who's one of the artists I linked in Twitch chat, says Will's my favorite edgelord.
Okay, that's funny.
That's so true though.
That's so good.
Gosh.
I love that.
It's so
Well,
good.
Thank you for the recommendations, though. I I do need to like, that's my problem right now. I've also found an artist that I would trust with emotes because she did a lot for my friend, and I'm like, okay, bet, but I want to move away from that one design because it's super VTuber, right?
Right.
But I just want a character that I can just use where people can still understand it's me, right? You have, you know, Connor, like Sea Dog. He has like his version with the white suit. Even though it doesn't really necessarily look a lot like him, you still know it's Connor.
Yeah.
Or, well, Saikuno now has a feature model, but he also has like with the green sweater and like the little sprout.
Yeah. The
But to be fair,
iconic
both-
Saikuno stuff.
Yeah, but to be fair, both of them really work. You can clearly tell it's him without it too much looking like him. But it's a character you can use. And
Right.
a lot of Minecraft YouTubers also have that, where it basically they just had a skin and like fan art evolved to them just adopting like the humanized version of their skin.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need something like that. So if I do get like a feature model for streams where I cannot appear with the camera, or for other reasons, I can just use that without impacting my other content or confusing people. But I have no idea how people like work towards something like that. Like, how did I come up with it? Oh, Jaden Animations is another. Like, obviously she has a VTuber model, but she also has like the character she uses for herself. And Mirichu, just the same. Didus. To be fair, they're artists, so they kind of like are better at designing themselves.
Right. Right.
But it's so frustrating because I can have a lot of emotes made by the end of the week if I wanted to. I just don't want them to be done with the design where I want to move away from, which is to no disrespect to the design or the artist, because it's a really good design. It's just very VTuber-like. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
I think I've seen it. I'm not sure.
Let's see if I can pull it up.
I feel like I've seen it, but I'm not entirely sure. But I totally get what you mean by like a very VTuber-esque design. It's actually funny because I feel like the cat is not what most people would typically associate with VTuber.
No.
Like straight up cat, right?
Mhm.
But at this point, I literally can't think of like anything other than just a cat because it's just so ingrained with my personality now.
I think you found like the perfect spot where like there's also people that use mascots as like that branding. I think was it Evil Toaster is like a frog.
Yeah.
And there's someone else who I think he is also a Minecrafter. I think 5up. He uses something like some kind of vegetable for a head. And it's really cute.
Oh, yeah.
And like that works still. And I think you found the sweet spot between that and like feature model, which represents you without the need to actually show your face.
Yeah.
And then you have your humanoid feature model, which even though it came first, it now just looks like the humanized version of your main design.
It does. I do think it's really funny that what will probably end up looking like the most VTuber-ish model out of all of them is going to be the mascot.
Yeah.
that is just funny to me.
If it works, it works. Makes you stand out too.
Exactly. All right. Well, we'll round off here, I think. I don't want to take too much of your time because otherwise I feel like we would just keep talking for forever.
Oh, yeah.
I think
There
it's
were no
getting
more
pretty
questions,
late
by the way?
for you.
It's almost 9 p.m.
I mean, Natalie asks a very poignant question of why.
Why not?
Exactly. And then we got Afraid of Open Doors who asks, have you ever traveled to the Balkans? And if you haven't, what country would you go to?
Oh, I have to Google what's in the Balkans. My geography is not good. Let me see.
I also don't really know the answer to that question.
I do know there's a restaurant near here. That's called the Balkan. I don't know. Let's see. Is Southeastern Europe. Bulgaria. It's not, it doesn't give me a list. Come on, give me a list. Is Croatia part of the Balkans? I cannot tell.
I have no idea. That is so far out of my.
This map
like,
is not. This map is not
I'm not
really
a big
not...
geography person either.
Okay,
So I really don't know.
I've countries that make up the Balkan. Let's see. Romania, Moldova, Bulgaria, Greece, Albania, and Serbia, Croatia, Slovenia, North Macedonia, and Bosnia and Herzegovina. So I've been to Greece. Like, we went to Greece every year until I was like 7. So I've been to like a whole bunch of islands. I don't remember much because I was so young. And the last time I got like heat stroke really badly.
Oof.
Yeah, it's also stupid because I got like these really tight braids. I think they're like similar to cornrows, but like it was like a native thing over there. So like those old grandmas would just sit down with you and braid your hair. And it was so nice. It looked really cool. But it was also like 35, 40 degrees out with like really strong sun. And my mom told me to like wear something on my head. And I was like, no, because it looks stupid. But if she had just explained, like, you would get sick if you don't. Like, I'm very autistic, and I was very autistic back then. If you just explain to me why I have to do something, I understand. But she never did. So I just thought she was annoying, right? And then I got a heat stroke. So I was just in bed for days until I was good enough to like actually go home. And there was like kids entertainment at the facility. And I had like a really high fever and I went there and I barely remember it. I just know that like Dutch travel organizations all have their own mascots, including like a whole fursuit that represents them. Apparently, that night, my dad was in the fursuit. Like, they just asked parents to sometimes hop into the fursuit for, like, the dance parties. So my dad was in there. And that was not something I was comprehending.
Huh.
I had such a bad fever, but I wanted to go to the party because there was only one party in the whole time that we were there. And I was like, I need to go.
Huh.
But I've never been back. I want to go back though to like get over that trauma. But also, don't get your hair braided if you're not willing to wear a hat in such climates. That's a terrible thing. Yeah, I've been to Greece. To answer the question. And I would visit Romania because a friend of mine lives there. And Croatia, I almost went to Croatia once, but was like with my ex-partner's family. But we broke up before we could even book. But it looks really pretty there, so I think that would also be some place I would go. I just don't know enough about the other countries to really say.
If I could pick another country to go to, because I've been to Japan, I've been to China, I've been to, no, what was the other one? Mexico. I've been to Mexico as well. I want to go to South Korea once.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see what that's like. Oh, I've been to Hong Kong, and I guess I've technically been to Thailand.
I've technically been in Switzerland, but only because we needed to like, we wanted to get like a shorter road back to our holiday apartment, and we were so close to the border. It was actually easier to like go over the border go for the faster way there and then go back. Took like 10 minutes.
You know what? I've also technically been to Canada.
I've been to Germany, Belgium, Luxembourg, France, and Greece. And that's like aside from the countries I popped into like quickly for like similar reasons. And to London. I wouldn't even say UK because I literally just went to London and
I'd love to visit a few more countries.
Oh, my mom wants to go to Scotland or Ireland. One of the two. Edinburgh, Scotland, right? Yeah. I think. I'm not even sure. Doesn't even matter. My mom wants to go to Edinburgh. Are there more questions?
Nice. Let's see. I don't think there are any more. Let me just double check. For now, I'll go ahead and close that. What? Actually, no, there is one more. The final question of the night. We'll call it there.
Oh, no.
What is your favorite Mario Kart build?
I don't think I've played Mario Kart in over a decade, so I have no idea.
I'm in the exact same boat. I have no idea what is in Mario Kart these days.
I think the last time I played it was on a Wii console. No. I played it like 5 years ago. It was like a really weird occasion. So when I was in high school, middle school, whatever, it's the same secondary here. I had to redo a year, so I lost contact with a lot of my classmates. And I also went down in like difficulty. Like, the Dutch education system is really weird. So I lost contact with a lot of people because I got an entirely new class and we didn't share breaks. And then a long time later, because I had only contact with one person, I was invited to like game night at someone I knew since like primary school. So I knew those parents and they were really lovely. And when I arrived there, they were really confused, like, "Oh, we haven't seen or heard from you in years. What went wrong?" I'm like, "Your daughter ghosted me." But I was on that party. It was really awkward with a lot of people I had not seen in years. Plus their partners I had not met yet. And I brought my partner who they hadn't met yet. The only thing that we were able to do without being weird was playing Mario Kart. And I don't remember whether it was on a Wii console or I think she also had like an older console. That was like I've never been to a game night ever again, and I don't want to.
Wow, that's something right there. That's hilarious.
That's the last time I played Mario Kart.
Mario Kart, the awkward icebreaker. Beautiful.
I don't want to get the Mario Kart for the Switch. Like, I bought a Switch fully with the intention to also buy Mario Kart, but I also wanted to wait to like get it secondhand or in sale because it's just so expensive. And it never goes into sale, ever. So yeah, I just have to like bite the bullet, buy it full price.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo games are pretty infamous for not going on sale, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just unfortunate. That is really a really funny story about Mario Kart. Oh gosh.
That's
funny.
There's some unpacked trauma there.
Gotta unpack the trauma. Okay, well, thanks so much for coming on, Ezzy, and ending us with a banger of a story. That I can already tell that's probably gonna become a clip later, because that's just so funny.
To like make an addendum, sometimes my mom, like in the years that I hadn't spoken to that one girl, like that wasn't the girl that invited me, by the way, it was just someone I was friends with, just weird. apparently her mom worked at like the gas station for a while. So every time my mom went to like get her tank filled, sometimes her mom was there and like was asking about me. And it's like, oh, why is Ezzy not ever coming around anymore? And then my mom had to like awkwardly smile, like, oh, but they want to though. Like nudging that it's not on me that I'm not coming around. And I'm like, I want to come around. I want to talk to them. That's also the person that got me into anime and got me into drawing in the first place. I used to be really good at drawing anime characters. I absolutely cannot draw anymore. So that every few months, my mom would come home with like, hey, their mom asked how you were. I'm like, what did you say? Not usual. Like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Oh gosh, that's so funny. Never change, Ezzy. Never change.
I will not. I spent so much of my life pretending to be different than I am, and now I'm like, I don't have to. I'm surrounded by VTubers. I'm the most normal person in the room.
You know what? That's actually kind of true, though. Oh gosh.
We really should hang out more. This is the first time we actually went to VC together and like had a proper conversation, and we went on for 3 hours. Well, more because we were in VC before.
True. Now I'm always down. This is my year of talking to more people, so we're busting out of that shell a little bit.
If you're ever like even last minute, time zones are a bit complicated, but if you ever need someone on the stream, just hit me up.
Will do. But for now, Ezzy, where can people find you? I'm gonna link your channel in Discord or on, not Discord. YouTube is what I meant. We're in Discord. Obviously, people can just click on your name. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, guys.
I am here on YouTube. I'm on Twitch. I'm on Twitter. And literally any website you can think of, it's the same username. Except from Tumblr. For some reason, there is an account with the username as he does. And I'm like 80% sure it's an account I made at some point.
But you don't have access to?
I don't have access to it. And I kept like I kept trying to explain to support, like, hey, I don't know if this is my account and I'm just being stupid, but can you like help me out? And I listed an entire how do you call it, my complete history in email addresses with potential passwords, etc. Like, yo, can you just throw me a bone and just tell me yes or no? You don't even have to tell me what email address. I'll figure it out. But they're like, well, you can't do. No, they can't do that, obviously. But I'm like, please.
I have a similar problem.
There's no one on the internet. There's no one else who uses this username ever anywhere. And I'm this type of person. I was like, oh, let's just rename my old Tumblr account so I just have the name reserved and then forget the password.
I have a similar problem with... So I've never, ever come across the name Raelz anywhere. Ever. But on Twitter, some Yahoo made an account called @Raelz like 12 years ago. And there's also a lovely photography company in Canada whose name is Raelz Photography. I take great pride in knowing that I overshadow all of their socials because I am a YouTuber.
Yeah. That's actually
it's really funny. But like, other than those two instances, I've never, ever heard of anyone even thinking about using this name. But it's one person on Twitter and one photographer in Canada.
I was very close to just using Ezzy as my username, but it's too short for Twitch unless you're a partner. And there's someone on YouTube where like an old account uses @Ezzy, and because of YouTube rolling over people's custom URLs to their handles automatically, I couldn't grab it. And how do you call it? And where else? There were other problems. Oh, and there's also like a company that sells equipment related to sailing that also is called Ezzy.
Huh.
Ezzy Sales.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like, their presence online is not even that big. So for a branding name, it wouldn't be bad. But to be fair, having like a longer username that's really specific, where literally only I would pop up, is not too bad either.
Huh. The interesting stories behind why we pick the names and handles we do. But we're gonna call it there for now, everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone on YouTube gets to go say hi to Brie Cookie Box. Everyone on Twitch is gonna go say hi to Exploding Toast because I can. You all have fun over there. But thanks once again for joining, Ezzy.
Of course.
And everyone else.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, to everyone else, I will see you all later.